But do I have children from some virgins? Yes.
If you ever host a virgin party, count me in.
How would you get into a virgin party?
Well, no, but I'll be there to take the virginities. I'm obsessed with it.
Why are you obsessed with taking boys' virginities?
Well, just like how Andrew likes 18-year-old.
Wait.
Okay.
Careful. Careful now.
Sorry, should I go
I'm
younger?
under investigation.
I mean, nigga, you already dry snitched on yourself. You and Tristan got mad videos of y'all celebrating taking bitches' virginities. 16, 17, 18-year-old virgins. So.
It's like taking the virginity of a really beautiful woman. I get to have this experience and no one else gets to have it again. It is a little bit better, but the real pleasure is in the fact that somebody else would love to have this, and I get it. That's why this is good.
That makes sense. I'll give you that. I agree with that.
Andrew Tate versus Bonnie Blue gets wild. A video by Rob Moore. Now, this is something I never thought that I would see. The internet's biggest red pill. I don't even know what you call the guy. Criminal. That's what he is. He's a fucking criminal. Versus the internet's biggest bop. I never thought I'd see today. But let's go ahead and enjoy this fucking chaotic interview.
I'm just a clever slut.
You are the perfect end result of feminism. That's destructive.
By the time you finish calling me a whore, I'm going to leave this chair with a wet patch.
Rob, the world's bring the astral. Would I Bonnie for all the power in the world?
Yeah. Andrew, what do you think of
Andrew is fucking Bonnie for a nice cheesesteak sandwich, nigga. This nigga like, would I fuck Bonnie for all the power in the world? This nigga not married. This nigga ain't got no bitch, bro. He's Andrew Tate. He just, I don't know, assaulting women and shit like that.
Bonnie Blue sleeping with 1,057 men?
How honest should I be out of 10?
11.
I want you to be honest.
You want me to be honest?
Yeah, go on.
I don't understand why men sit here and try and lecture you about it. I don't understand why men sit here and say you shouldn't do it. It's your body, your choice, right? This is the world we now live in. This is the end result of feminism. You are the perfect end result of feminism. In the world I believe in the conservative, traditionally masculinely ruled world, a man would be in charge of his daughters until they're handed over to their husbands or boyfriends, and there would be a degree of masculine guidance. But feminism didn't want that. You know, women complain that men don't want to get married. We did actually want to get married when we got obedient virgins, but they disappeared, and they complained about the patriarchy, and they were tired of us giving them a house to live in and kids to raise, and they wanted to make their own choices. So she's making her own choice. That's a fantastic thing. Yeah. I actually have a lot of respect for you because you own it and you're honest about it.
What if it was your daughter?
Well, that won't happen.
But she's her own person.
I never said my daughter's her own person. I said women want to be their own people. But my point is, there's so many women who go to Magaluf for a weekend and do something very similar, and then they come back to England and get with some fucking guy and start asking for presents from him and talking about how they deserve a traditional relationship and they want to get married and they want a Christmas present and all this bullshit. Most women do exactly what Bonnie does. I don't see you any different than most women. And I'm not saying that in a degrading way.
Most women don't sleep with 1,057 men in a day.
1,000? Does it fucking matter?
I think it does.
I don't really think it does.
I think it does. I think there's a big difference between 1 and 1,000 cocks. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to have to disagree right there.
So
it's all disgusting to me. If I met a woman and she said, I just sucked a dick yesterday, I'd say, well, I find you repulsive. I don't want to sleep with you. Goodbye.
Oh, yeah, right. I buy that. Andrew Tate's never fucked the bitch that sucked another dude's dick. You're right, sure.
You're going after virgins.
Well, it's not about only going after virgins, but I think if you're a straight man, the idea of having a bunch of men fuck a woman that you're with is pretty repulsive.
But everyone has a past.
But see, this is the kind of shit white people say. I don't know what's wrong with you people. Everyone has a past. That's not acceptable. In fact, let's analyze that. Everyone has a past. You're right. Everyone does have a past. It's true. But isn't the primary objective of a man to find a woman with as little past as possible? Would you argue that's one of the precursors to finding a wife? Considering that wives were supposed to be virgins. This was the deal. The reason I'm proud of Bonnie, and I am genuinely proud of you, I like Bonnie. I like what she's
proud of Bonnie is crazy. I'm proud of you for taking 1,000 cocks is crazy.
Because the deal was...
You're not, like, contradicting yourself here.
In what way?
Well, you're proud of her sleeping with 1,057 guys, but women should be virgins.
No, I'm saying that the social contract, the construct of society that made family function was women were obedient virgins and they found a man who provided for them and they listened to that man. Women have then said, we don't like the patriarchy. We're tired of being provided for. We're tired of being taken care of. We don't want to listen to anybody. We want to make our own decisions. That was women and feminism that ended the traditional family unit. And now women can make their own decisions. So I'm glad that Bonnie's making...
What a terrible thing. Treating women like everybody else.
Their own decision.
Yeah,
I'm not here to
people
tell you not to do
say
it.
I take women back 100 years. I'm like, no, I'm the clear example of how to be empowered. I use my body. I do what I want, when I want. And this is the thing you've been banging on about for years. And when I get hate, like when I click on the comments of these women that are like, oh, you're taking us back 100 years. Then in their bio, it says stay-at-home mom of 2. I'm thinking, what the fuck was you rooting for?
That's
because
right.
you have just stayed
That's
at
right,
home.
Bonnie. See, this is the future.
Yeah.
This is the future. This is fantastic. It's exactly what Western society is headed to. So why are we going to sit here and pretend this is not? Why are we going to sit here and pretend that most women who go on girls' holidays aren't doing something similar to what Bonnie does just because it's not on camera? Why are we going to sit here and pretend that these men who walk around with their wives in the pub in England, and they're like, oh, my wife, yeah, everyone has a past. Oh, no, she's done the same shit. What's the difference? Who gives
a few hundred cocks?
a fuck, right? We're either going to care and accept that women are judged on their past and judged on their innocence and judged on their naivety and judged on these things like it used to be, or we're going to sit and say it doesn't matter, everyone has a past. Well, if everyone has a past, everyone has a past. Who gives a fuck? Does it really matter?
So
anymore?
What would you do if it was your daughter, though?
But why are you asking impossible questions?
It's not an impossible question.
Of course it is.
How?
It can't happen.
But anything can happen.
It's against the laws of physics.
It's not.
I mean, if your
It's
daughter opened her
not.
legs and took 1,000 dicks, it's not impossible.
Of course it is.
What?
Why
I
is
mean,
it
the dicks would
impossible?
enter her pussy, therefore she's taken.
It's literally impossible for my daughter.
What, are you going to be there against your daughter's pussy saying that dick's not entering it?
No, my daughter just wouldn't make that decision.
But why?
Because I still raise her in a household where she is masculinely guided, and she will be guided by me until I hand her over to some other man. However, I believe when women are left to their own devices, they will only ever make stupid decisions.
Oh,
Was mine a
God.
stupid decision?
I wouldn't say it's any more stupid than most decisions women make, to be honest with you.
What the
I think
fuck? Damn.
Most women, to some degree, are sex workers anyway. Like,
I mean, yeah.
let's be honest about it, right? Most women look at
Women are incapable of making good decisions. That's wild.
Miami or Dubai. What's your job? Oh, I've got a boyfriend. So your job is being a girlfriend. And why does he
Oh,
give you
shit.
money? Because you give him sex. So most women
Would
are
that not then include the women who made the decision to trust your guidance and become one of your fucking sex whores or whatever the fuck?
sex workers anyway, to be honest.
But isn't
I mean-
that what you said the family unit was?
Well, then you're a sex worker with one customer. You know, which is nice. I guess it's better. It's more efficient.
But what about if you're raising children? That's not sex work, is it?
No, that's being a mother.
Yeah.
All right, so that's interesting, Rob. Rob said this, not me. So they're either virgins, sex workers, or mothers. Are those the three categories?
I think you're putting words into my mouth.
I think that's what Rob just said. Those are the three categories.
I'm just sat in the middle.
And women have to choose to be one of them.
So is that what you think?
I think that when a woman becomes a mother, she has a purpose. And I think that women should be having children as soon as possible. And I think it gives their life a direction. And I think it's the most...
Fuck that. I don't agree that women should just be looking for purpose in pushing babies out of their vaginas. That's not what's going to give their life purpose.
important thing to preserve society, especially if you want to talk about geopolitics and talk about race and all of these things. If you want to have a country that looks like the country it used to be, you need to have the original people from there having children. I think all of that is true. Absolutely. I think every day a woman goes without having kids is primarily a waste of time.
Wow.
But once again, what does it matter what I think? Rob, I've given up. Rob, I've given up trying to save the world. I've
You
given
ha-
up.
no, you
no,
haven't.
Rob. I've
No,
given
you
up.
haven't.
I've given up on misogyny and all this
No,
shit.
you haven't.
They attacked me with the Matrix. They keep throwing me in jail. I am now all for women empowerment. I think women should run around fucking as many men as they want. I like what Bonnie's doing. She's getting the bag. She's getting rich. Most girls out here don't want to have kids. They just want to get Birkin bags and Instagram likes. Good. I'm a feminist, a pro-feminism. This is the world now. How the world's going to end up, who gives a fuck? Who cares about the future? Doesn't matter.
See, women go around, use sex to their advantage, but then are happy to cry about it straight away, saying, oh, he took advantage of me. And it's like, you're the one that wanted to do sex to have like the job promotion, or you're the one that wanted to have sex to get more attention or try and be more liked, but then they cry about it. And that's what I get frustrated about. And even with porn stars, like people in my industry, they'll do this for a few years, get the money, get the boob jobs, get the house. And then suddenly they go, oh my God, I was forced into the industry. Oh my God, someone took all my money.
It feels like something got cut right there because she just started talking about this a little randomly.
Have you ever considered a job as a lawyer? Because I could do with you. You're 100% right. So this is the false dichotomy of society, right? So this is the reason when I said I like what Bonnie does, because Bonnie completely 100% owns what she does. And she says, it's my decision. And I've seen people try and lecture you. I've seen people sit there and try and lecture you and say like, oh, but you're a creature of God and you shouldn't be doing this. No, you should do whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly.
It's up to you to do whatever you want. And you're not saying anybody tricked you into it. It's your decision. And let's be honest, when they talk about taking women back 100 years, let's actually be very honest here, Rob. No disrespect.
No disrespect.
There's always been whores.
It's the oldest profession.
Ancient Rome had whores. There's always been whores. The Aztecs had whores. You think there weren't concubines in the fucking Ming dynasty sucking little Chinese pee-pee? Of course there were. There's always been whores. It's the oldest profession in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, there have always been thoughts. That's a fact.
Do you think it's a legitimate job?
Well, I mean, no, check her bank. I'm sure she's making fucking loads of money. So here's where do you draw the line? If we're going to live in this false dichotomy, because the world was very simple once, not too long ago. And men had this terrible misogynistic view, which I, of course, don't agree with, that women can't make their own decisions because they're naturally chaotic. And when women decide anything, life's fucked up. In fact, these men in their disgusting misogyny believed if you gave women the vote, we'd end up with open borders and drag queen story hours. So they didn't give women the vote. Then they did give women the vote, and society took a particular direction. But when men were in charge of things, women didn't have...
But men are also voting for those things. This is just all bullshit, nigga. So every man only makes good decisions is what this nigga saying. All men make good decisions. All women make bad decisions. No men voted for the shit that he crying about right now. And no women voted against it. This is just bullshit. He's just pandering to his fucking brain dead audience.
Have to worry about what they can do with their life because their father took care of it.
If women can't make good decisions, then every time a woman agrees to marry a man, that would then mean she's making a bad decision, which would then mean that marriage is bad. It's a contradiction.
Her husband took care of it. But now we live in a brand new world where women can make all of their own decisions. And the path she's chosen, I don't think is any different than most paths women take. I think she's just more honest about it and more upfront about it. If you're going to go to Dubai and meet a girlfriend and you think she hasn't been fucking for money the entire time she was living in Dubai, then you're an idiot. If you're in Miami and you got girls on your boat and you think they're not fucking for money all of the time, now they may not say per hour, but they'll be fucking a guy they barely like to get the rent paid, or they're fucking a guy they barely like because he has a car.
Yeah.
So women are fucking for money all the time anyway. That's all women do now. The entire Western world is women fucking for money. So how hypocritical would it be for me to sit here and say, Bonnie, who's honest, who monetizes it directly with her own media empire, who's upfront about it, and makes...
Yeah, bitches are fucking for money. And niggas is giving money to fuck bitches. And that's what it's been since the beginning of time. That's how it's always been. Hey, shout out to King Buck, man. My boy.
Money from it is a worse person than the girl who walks around like she's goody two-shoes and then sucks dick in a Magaluf toilet. Because that's what most girls are doing anyway. Mm-hmm. Rob, the world's fucked. They're all like this. Rob, they're all the same.
Are you trying to say I'm not special now?
No, I'm saying you're special, actually, because you've gone so far through. You've come out as the queen of it. Congratulations.
Yeah. But didn't you say this kind of thing is the demise of Western society?
Let's not forget that this nigga got all his money by pimping out bitches on porn sites.
If I was a misogynist, I would believe this is the final end result of feminism and the end times are here and that nobody's going to have kids anymore and that the idea of a beautiful marriage between a man and a woman is now completely gone. I mean, if I was a disgusting misogynist, but since they keep raising...
But you don't have one beautiful marriage, do you?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Have you slept with 1,057 women?
At least.
So are you quite similar?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because it's
Hey,
the
shout out to the Sikhs.
male's prerogative to impregnate as many females as possible. This is the masculine prerogative. This is biologically my prerogative is to do that.
I think we should do a breeding competition. We'll see if you can get a girl pregnant quicker than I can get pregnant.
Well, I mean, that'd be a good competition. I think I'd win. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one, but it's interesting.
What?
Because, no,
What the fuck? That was random as fuck. I swear to you, they're putting mad cuts into this interview that they're cutting shit out. That was random.
Because you have to look at society. When you look at these things, you have to look at society from an animalistic perspective and a societal perspective. From the animalistic perspective, it is the masculine imperative to get as many women as possible pregnant.
Yeah, but
If you want to, but if you want to be purely
it's not
animalistic,
1512.
no, but let's
Andrew.
be purely animalistic. Let's talk about this like professionals. If a man is high value, high testosterone, alpha male, whatever you want to call him, right? His imperative is to impregnate women. And he wants to take care of those women and take care of those kids. He's not overly interested in the kids. It doesn't mean he doesn't love them. It means he doesn't want to sit there and play with them all day. When you see a man who wants to play with a baby all day, that man is probably gay. It's fucking boring.
Well,
So
A man who wants to spend a lot of time with his children is gay. Cool.
it doesn't mean he wants to fuck the kid.
No, he's gay. He's gay. So real men just want to pregnant, money, cool. See you an hour a week. Boom, boom, boom. Now,
Bullshit, nigga. A real man wants to raise up a better man than him. If you're a real man, you look at your kid as you 2.0, at least for your sons. And then with your daughters, you want to raise them with a healthy sense of self-worth so that they don't go off and date loser men or fall for fucking losers like this who use a lover boy technique to trick insecure, weak-minded women into being porn stars for him and making him money. That's why you spend time with your daughters.
A lot of men are going to disagree with me on that, but those are a lot of men I can beat the shit out of, so I don't give a fuck. That's the truth of it. The female imperative.
Oh, I can beat people in a fist fight because I trained in martial arts for over a decade. That means their points are invalid. Cool.
It's to fight.
Shit, nigga, you can't punch bullets. Fuck biting you, nigga. I'll just shoot you.
A man who's obsessed with her so that when she gets pregnant, she's going to have protection and provision when she's not capable of looking after herself. That is the female biological imperative and the masculine biological imperative. I'm still living to my biological imperative to some degree. If I were to, let's say, have 4 or 5 women and I had kids with 4 or 5
Nigga
women.
come like, oh, I'm going to beat you up. Nigga. Shit. Damn, nigga, you didn't dodge not a single one of them bullets. Maybe you need to work on your fucking bob and weave.
I took care of 4 or 5 women.
In GTA, of course.
And I was with all of them, and they were exclusively only with me, and we had children over and over and over again. That's my biological imperative. It's actually against the female biological imperative to do what Bonnie is doing, I would argue. Traditionally. But that means you break paradigms. That's great. But feminism and society and this brand new societal conditioning is convincing women that what they're supposed to do, which is find a man they love and be obsessed with him and get pregnant from him, is the wrong thing to do. Well, then let's all just become sex workers now. But why not?
But you disagree with that feminist program.
I don't have an opinion, Rob, because I have 14 criminal cases. I don't have an opinion. I'm just here. I'm a commentator. I'm just commentating.
Commentators have opinions.
I don't have an opinion. No, I don't have an opinion. Women can do whatever they want. Women are fantastic. We live in this great society now where women are girl bosses and better than us, while also are equals at everything, while also everything they do they regret was a man's fault somehow. As Bonnie described, they were tricked into it. So we live in this impossible situation where a man can't possibly win anyway, no matter what opinion he has. But I'm just saying it would be unprofessional and hypocritical of me to sit here and think that Bonnie is doing anything different or anything bad or anything wrong when she does the same thing 99.9% of Western women do anyway.
Okay, so Bonnie...
You get one extreme to the next. You get the women like me that are just sluts, and then you get the others that are lazy and won't even get on their knees and give a blowjob.
And they're
There's one
sluts
extreme
too.
to the next.
No, but this is the thing. They're sluts too. They're just sluts for a different guy, or they were sluts for their ex, and they're not sluts for the new guy.
A bitch gives a nigga a blow job, that makes her a slut now, even if it's for her boyfriend or her husband. This dude's all over the place.
These women are sluts too. It's all the same.
Like I used to be a full service sex worker, like an escort. And I used to judge men that cheated. And then when I actually started speaking to these men, I was like, you know what? They've got a point. They're going to work. They're looking after their kids. They're still emptying the dishes because the wife's now refusing to do that, saying it should be equal. And then I say, well, when's the last time she gave you a blowjob? When's the last time she fucked you? They couldn't name it. They couldn't even list the amount of times where they've had sexual intercourse. I'm like, of course you're going to need that. Of course you're going to cheat. So how can I ever say women are anything but lazy and poorly educated?
So do you think you're a good role model for women?
I'm a clear example of what women have fought for years. Of
what?
Taking control of your body.
Correct.
Being independent. I earn my own money. I don't rely on a guy. I'm
Girl
paid
power.
Exactly. I'm paid more than other guys.
100%.
Do you think
she is a clear example of what women have been fighting for years? Absolutely.
Andrew Tate believes that a man should have the option to choose between being a sleazeball degenerate that is just trying to fuck as many women as possible, or being a devout religious person who loses his virginity to his virgin wife and only stays with her until death. He thinks it's perfectly fine for men to be able to choose between two, but women should not have the same opportunity. A woman shouldn't have the opportunity to choose between being a virgin till married and staying married and being a fucking whore. I think if men have that opportunity, women should have that opportunity too. I mean, you could have been born a bitch, nigga. You could have been born a chick. And just because you were born with a gash instead of a schlong, now you can't exercise the same level of personal freedom. That's bullshit, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's no different than when, you were born with dark skin instead of light skin. Oh, looks like you can't go to school. Oops. Sorry.
And now
I'm not going to sit here and lecture you about God. I'm not going to sit here and no, that's all bullshit. She is a clear example of what women have been fighting for years.
Yeah.
Women believe that they can do whatever they want.
Do you think they should be able to?
Listen, brother, I have 14 criminal cases. I don't want to be called a misogynist by the BBC. That would break my heart. That's not up to me. We're all individual sovereign people, and we make our own decisions. If women want to run around and do whatever they want to do, it's up to them. My point is, all women, on some scale, are doing what Bonnie Blue is doing. However, Bonnie Blue's just the best at it. She's the best. She's the queen of it. So why? It's
not all women are doing.
Let me ask you a question. If a man walks into Starbucks and steals a chocolate bar, he's a thief. Yeah, correct.
Not in London.
Well,
it's legal.
Yeah. And if a banker manages to liquidate a ton of stock illegally in the stock market or rip off a bunch of people with a false investment fund, whatever it is, he's a thief, right? The morality is the same, whether you're stealing from the Wall Street or you're stealing from Starbucks. The morality of it is the same. But people will sit there and argue that the banker is somehow worse than the guy who stole the chocolate bar because of
I don't know, man. I don't know if I could say they're the same, because in one situation, you're literally stealing probably hundreds of people's money, actually hurting their pockets. In the other situation, if you steal a Snickers bar from Walmart, they're not even feeling that. They don't even notice that, probably. In fact, big corporations like that account for a certain amount of theft every year. That's literally baked into their business model. It's called shrink. If you ever worked in retail, you would have heard this term. They call it shrink. The amount they allot that, listen, there's going to be a certain percentage, not that they're saying they want it to happen or that it's right or morally correct, but I think the amount of people that will be impacted by your evil deed does add weight to how morally wrong the thing is. You feel me?
how much he stole. I wouldn't argue there's a difference in morality. There's a difference in capability, but the morality is the same. The banker's just smarter.
I'm just a clever slut.
You're just very good. Yeah. She is very good at what she's decided to do. If you're going to be a whore, and most women watching this.
Yeah, I agree with what Antara said in the chat. Both are wrong, but one is worse than the other. I think that's clear.
Most men, hello, your wife, yeah, her, they're all whores anyway. If you're going to be a whore, no disrespect, you may as well be fucking good at it. Get a media empire, get rich, let everyone know your name, and get paid. Why are you going out to the pub, getting drunk, and meeting a man who's funny and getting fucked in a toilet for free? Are you dumb?
They are, though. Women are stupid.
They're stupid. So Bonnie's just the smartest. She's the Wall Street banker of this whole shit. I respect that much more than these other girls. Rob, I grew up in Luton, England, bruv. You think I don't know hoes? You think I haven't seen it? You think I haven't walked in the toilet and some bitch has got 5 dudes hanging?
I'd love to hear why Bonnie thinks women are stupid. I think she's just playing the fucking, she's trying to appeal to the kind of niggas that follow Andrew Tate, the kind of niggas that like hearing that shit. Yeah, all women are dumb. All women are stupid. And then so they can give her money.
This is the Western world. This is feminism. This is what all you white boys wanted. All you white men listening to women all the time, women get to opinions all of a sudden. This is what you built. Congratulations.
So you blame men?
Well, 100% I blame men because everything's men's fault because men are the only ones who can apply force to scenarios. Women can't apply force. Men apply force. If there's something we don't like, we apply force to the situation. We could force this away. We could force most things away. So everything's absolutely men's fault. And this came from, the feminism and the women's sexualization and the liberation, a lot of it came from beta males hoping to get some pussy. That's what it came from. Bunch of weak men, though. If we told girls to be hoes, I might get a little bit. Because the natural order of the universe is the big...
It's not possible that there's just a certain subset of the population of men that think that women should have the same personal freedom that they have. And just because they have vaginas and ovaries doesn't mean they should be stripped of rights. That's not possible. No, it's only you're a beta, soy boy trying to get some pussy. And so you're like, oh, what should we do? I guess we'll give them some rights. Maybe then they'll sleep with us. No, nigga. It was just niggas started reading books and thinking deeply about shit and realized that you don't need to control people to get people to do what you want them to do. In fact, that's the worst kind of compliance. The best kind of compliance is when people do what you want them to do because they want to do it. If the only way you can get somebody to do what you want them to do is to force them, nigga, that's whack as fuck.
Gorilla.
That's not respect. That's not love, nigga. That's fear.
Smart. I'm so fucking smart. The big gorilla, Top G, has a bunch of women, and then the small gorilla has nothing. This is the natural order of the universe. It's actually kind of still like that in many ways. There's a guy with the yacht with 10 wives, and then there's a guy with no yacht with no wife. It's kind of like that. But beta males didn't like that because they couldn't obviously compete with the top guy. So they've tried to push this sexual liberation, hoping to get a little bit of pussy, and it probably works a little bit. But society's destroyed by extension. If you want to look at society for what it is, because what is society?
Society's destroyed, nigga. You would not want to live in any other period of fucking reality, nigga. Oh, you think you'd be enjoying yourself more if you lived in the 1600s? Okay, all right, for sure. Go ahead. This is the best society's ever been. What are you talking about?
Other than rearing and raising children. That's what society should be, I would argue. Society should be, the primary function of it should be, let's have kids so that we have a population. We have a population collapse in the West.
Yeah, I think they should have a choice. I before used to think, oh my God, I really want kids, I want a family. But it's because I was so naive to what else was open to the world. I just thought, okay, I need to get married. I need to, have children. I need to get a good job. And that was what I thought life was. And then I was like, fuck, there's so much more to life rather than just staying in that, finishing school, going to uni, getting married, buying a house. And you just copy everyone else. Like half the shit we do is because someone else has done it.
Okay, Bonnie, so let me ask you a question. I agree with you that now that we've opened up female horizons with education, with jobs, with the capability of making money, with Instagram and all these offers they get to fly around the world and all these things, women don't want to have kids or they want to have kids later because they have a lot more options. I agree with you. But would you argue, if you were to look at it selflessly, not about the ant, but about the ant farm at large, that keeping women's horizons more narrow so they focused on rearing children would be better for society than the current society we're in, where we have to import a whole bunch of fuck knows who's into the country to try and maintain a population because the white people aren't even having any fucking kids because the white women are too busy sucking dicks in Magaluf.
Did you understand that?
To a certain degree, but I also couldn't give a shit. The world's going to shit anyway. So whether or not we've got more kids in it or not, it's fucked regardless. So
she's just such a fucking grifter. She does not believe that shit at all.
So just live your life the best. You're going to be dead in however many years anyway.
Fair.
So don't stress too much.
Fair.
She wouldn't rather live in any other time period either. I know that for a fact.
This is what I like about Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue is my favorite. This is my favorite everything. Fair. Because what you just said, I understand.
The world is not going to shit. I promise you, it's only getting better and better. You would not, if the world was going to shit, you should be able to say, oh, I rather live in this time period in the past. And I promise you, you don't, bro.
I agree with.
But it's selfish.
But what have I
But
said?
why should I not be selfish? Why should I give a shit about someone else that pays less tax than me, has, sits and complains, makes shit?
It's never been easier to make money. It's never been easier to get pussy. It's never been easier to get food. It's never been easier to stay healthy. Bro, it ain't our fault if you can't exercise any self-control or discipline and you fall into the traps of overindulgence. That ain't my fault, nigga. Oh, well, social media, nigga, fucking put the phone down, nigga. God damn, ain't nobody telling you to eat McDonald's every day, bro. Just because it's there don't mean you got to do it every day. You know what I'm saying? God damn.
TikTok's about me like, I couldn't give a shit if your life's going shit. By the looks of it, you live in a council house, you've got a couple of kids.
No one's making you jerk off to porn twice a day, every day, nigga. Nobody's doing that. You choosing to do that.
Different dads. I don't care. So why should I sit there and think, fuck, I should do something to help you? I don't care. I should focus on myself. And if more people did that, the world would actually be a better place. But they become so fixated on other people. I'm like, where's your life? Why are you not focused on yourself? Like, look in the mirror. You're fat. Go and do something about it. Your teeth have that much plaque on it. Like, you're fucked. Like, there's no way out for you.
No, but what
Is this a good role model?
No, yes, because no, but what
No,
Bonnie,
yes.
No, what Bonnie's saying is important here, and it's not about what she's saying. It's about the general attitude. Because what I want to make clear, the reason society was run by men for so long is that men have a...
Oh, no. Someone says if you spend more time with more people struggling, most people are happy. Nigga, I grew up in a third world country to a single mother. Nigga, I wore Kirkland brand jeans to high school. I didn't own my first pair of Jordans until I was in my 20s, nigga. I promise you. I promise you, I know what struggle looks like. I know, I've struggled. But you don't gotta struggle your whole life, nigga. That ain't my fault. You don't know how this universe shit work, bro. That ain't on me, nigga.
Different biological instinct to women, and we're prepared.
And that's true. I rather, just like what Kyrie said, I rather struggle in 2025 than 1625, nigga. Niggas out here talking about they struggling. They not starving. They have access to clean water. They have technology. They have access to all the information in the world. Anyone struggling in 2025, you're choosing to struggle, bro. That's a fact.
To suffer for the greater good. Women are not very good at suffering. Men are good sufferers.
Look back at the wars. There's so much evidence of it.
Well, of course. And also, let's just look at the normal family. You talked about these men who come and see you, right?
Yeah.
But happy wife, happy life is true. And the reason it's true is because if the wife is unhappy, everyone's miserable because she'll make sure of it. But if the man's unhappy, everyone else can be happy. He'll suffer. He'll sit with no sex. He'll go to work every day.
Yeah.
He won't see his friends. He'll be miserable. He'll be depressed. He'll still pay the bills. He'll still pay the taxes. And everyone else gets to be happy. Men are good at suffering. Women are spiteful sufferers. And for that reason, they struggle to do anything. They struggle to suffer themselves for any greater good. Men have always died for a greater good. Men have always said, this is bad.
Bro, this is bullshit right here. That men are good at suffering and women aren't. That's bullshit, bro. I watched my wife push 3 babies out of her lady bits with no medicine, no anesthesia, bro. Women know how to take some suffering.
For me, but it's good for society. Bonnie just quite correctly, quite pertinently highlighted the fact that she believes in living her life the best way that she wants to live so she is happy. And I agree with you. That's what you should do. That's fine. Because you're a woman. That's how women think. Women don't think I shouldn't do this because I care about society by and large. Women don't think that way. And once you understand that logic, you can extrapolate that out to the fact that women shouldn't be in charge of a country ever because women are not prepared to take a bullet.
We're talking about prolonged suffering. Bro, most niggas is bitches, bro. I promise you that. You know what I'm saying? If niggas was so good at suffering, they wouldn't be killing themselves more than women, bro. That's just a fact. Listen, you have strong people and weak people, and that ain't got nothing to do with what's between your legs. That's just it. You got strong women, you got strong men, you got weak men, you got weak women. That's just it.
Bullet for a country. ever.
I mean, I guess I contradict myself a little bit because I help society out a lot. And I do that because well, do you see how many dicks I drain? How many balls I've been emptied out on my face? How many cream pies I've taken and scooped it out? Like,
And how does that help society?
sex workers help, like, reduce rape rates by over 30%.
We aren't more weak for that, nigga. If you giving up, that's like, I can't take it anymore. You've literally said, this is too much for me.
Sound like a stat you just made up.
No, Google it.
Yeah, that's probably true. Mental health, it's good for mental health as well. It
The
stops
true
men
fact is
killing
32%.
themselves. Yeah, stops men killing themselves. Sex work's an important part of the world.
So imagine, like, if you're
Are you
a
saying that because
rapist.
you had a webcam business?
I'm not saying that because I had a webcam business. I'm saying that because it's absolutely and utterly true. The only point I was making earlier about women being in charge, I was actually trying to get to a final point. And the final point, I would argue, is that Bonnie has done no damage to society compared to giving the women the vote.
I've basically been a community worker.
Absolutely.
For example,
do you vote?
Not, to be honest, I don't really know what's going on in the world.
So do you vote?
No.
Okay, she's perfect. she's out here. She's sucking dick.
I am wife material.
She's sucking dick. She's not voting. This is the kind of women we need. This is done. This is fine. If we stop women, we take the women's vote away. If you said to me, Andrew, fix society, all the women can either vote or be like Bonnie. I'd be like, make them all like Bonnie. Give the men the vote back. We'll fix all country.
Even your daughter.
My tiny stepsister says, which again, what a fucking crazy name. He says, so what about guys doing dangerous jobs? Are they weak? No, those are the strong niggas. What do you do for a living? That's what I want to know. I worked in construction for almost a year, nigga. I've seen niggas come and fold in a week. And then I've seen niggas do the most brutal shit, bro. Fucking working in over 110-degree weather, not taking water breaks in a fucking 10-foot deep hole, nigga. I've seen that. I've been that nigga. But I've also seen other niggas do it. I've seen niggas tougher than me working in that shit. But I've also seen some soft-ass, weak-ass, bitch-ass niggas that come and fold in a week. Can't even show up to work on time. That's what I'm trying to say. All I'm saying is this distinction that we're trying to say, oh, men strong, women weak. Bullshit, bro. There are strong women and there's strong men. And you don't want women doing jobs like being a firefighter and being a police officer. You be the same nigga that will say, oh, women cops is a stupid idea, but then try to say it's a flex that there aren't more women police officers and all the. It's like, no, nigga, they don't have the physical bodies for that shit. They're just not built like that. They're not strong enough to do it, most women. You know what I'm saying? That's why they asked for help opening pickle jars. It ain't got nothing to do with mental toughness. Their biology just ain't built for that. But they're strong in ways that, you see, here's how I know it's different kinds of mental strength, bro. I could not be with my children all day, every day, nigga. I couldn't do it. If I had to, of course, I'd figure it out. But that's in of itself a kind of toughness that most men I don't think have. I can work 12 hours in 120-degree weather. No problem. I cannot fucking be with children all day, every day. I would go insane. You know, so this whole trying to make the two equal is just bullshit, bro. The kind of patience that is required is just, I don't think a lot, we appreciate that. It's not that it's easy to be a teacher or a nurse or shit like that. It's a different kind of toughness.
Well, yeah, why would she need to vote? I'm voting. Why would she need to vote when I'm voting? You're going to vote against your father. What
Bro, there have been times where I got to watch my kids for like 2 hours straight. You know what I'm saying? My wife gone on the road to go take care of something she got to take care of. Nigga, I'm like, by the end of the 2 hours, I'm like, yo, how the fuck is she doing this all day, every day? Bro, I barely watch my kids. I play with my kids. I take my kids out and do, but in terms of just monitoring the kids, she's the one doing 99% of that shit. Bro, I can't do that shit. And she's doing that while working, too. She also works in really it ain't even a part-time job, but nah, bro. Women are tough. I promise you. They're just tough in a different way.
That. It's really interesting to me. Since I had daughters, and I have a bunch, people always said, when you get a daughter, you're going to change your opinions. Mm-hmm. No, I fucking didn't. When you have a daughter, you know, you see these dudes and they have a daughter and like the daughter's putting makeup on and they're like, girl dad. Just because you have a girl doesn't mean you become gay.
I think that's cute though.
No, but no, she's never gonna put makeup on my face. I'm never gonna be like, oh, my daughter wants, so I guess I just
you sound
gave
like a farmer when you say
she
that.
melts my heart. No, you're gonna obey me because I am your parent and you are my child. My child can't vote against me ever. That's civil war. That's against the rules that's against the just working of the universe, sir. For me to have a certain opinion and my own offspring to have countering opinions. You think I'm going to be sitting at some fucking dinner table in 20 years and my daughter or my sons, any of them, are going to be there arguing with me about anything. Actually, in school, I learned, you better shut the fuck up because you're in my fucking house. It's my mansion.
Okay. See how that works out for you.
It's the Tate millions. You're living on my money. You're going to do as I fucking say.
Until they're...
That's how you end up with a child that never fucking talks to you when you're old, by the way. Yeah. That's how you end up with kids with a horrible relationship with their parents. Never tell them anything. Can't wait to move the fuck out. Move to a whole different fucking state. You see that every Christmas it's like, oh, I gotta fucking go home and see these people for Christmas.
18 or they move out.
If they want to completely cut me off and build their own version of life, I guess they could do that, but they won't do that. That's impossible.
It's how you bring them up. Like when they're 18, yes, they're an adult, but it's how you've brought them up.
Of course.
Like my parents brought me up.
Do you
as
have kids
much
though?
as... No, I don't.
No.
But like my parents, I mean, everyone says my parents can't love me. My family must have disowned me. It's not the case. My family brought me up to be independent and live my best life, how I want to live. And as much as people think that is so shameful, that's disgusting, like my life's become so much better and I'm happy. As much as people think I should be scarred, could kill myself and everything else, it's like, I am happy. I genuinely live a much better
I believe her, by the way.
life. So my family are nothing.
Unhappiness comes from, well, there are a lot of sources of unhappiness, but a big source for a lot of people is subjugating yourself to pleasing other people. See, people who look at Bonnie and the life that she's living and comes to the conclusion that she must be unhappy is because they are forming that opinion from what would it be like if I did that shit? If I did that shit, what would all my friends and family and all that think about me? The thought of that would just send them into so much depression and despair.
A bit proud of me.
But Bonnie genuinely doesn't give a fuck, and the people that she cares about the most, their opinion, clearly they don't give a fuck, and so she's happy.
Really happy.
Really, really happy. Happy and wet
when you're
most of the
alone,
time.
you're happy.
She's not voting. She's great. This is what we need. Do you want to be prime minister or not really?
No.
The mistake is thinking that happiness comes from how you choose to spend your time. It doesn't. Happiness is and peace is all about whether or not you're just content with your life, whatever your life is. That's why two people can live completely different lives and both feel incredibly fulfilled and happy. There is no one right way to live your life. And similarly, you have women living the life that Andrew Tate thinks all women should live, which is being barefoot and pregnant and cooking meals for their husband, and they want to fucking die, nigga. They are so unhappy. They're literally doing all the things that conservative traditional values and culture would tell you is what women are supposed to do, and these bitches are fucking addicted to Xanax and Ambien because they are just so miserable in their fucking lives. So that's the reality. Happiness doesn't come from your job. It doesn't come from your relationship status, how many kids you have, none of that. Fulfillment comes from inside. It comes from within.
See, done, bro. This is it. This is what we need in society. Honest about their sex work, because all women out here are sex working anyway. When's the last? You've been in Dubai recently.
Yeah.
Find a woman who ain't sex working. That is a challenge, sir. $1 million to find a woman who ain't living off a man. Because that is sex work. You giving sex and she's giving you money. That's the game. I tweeted
It's actually so true. I've never thought of it like that.
I tweeted
when
this.
people are boyfriend and girlfriends, the
It's
majority
sex
of
work.
the time, they do
Okay, now that's where we're at. I don't know how you can be a fucking Andrew Tate disciple, bro. This nigga literally said that you're engaging in, you're partaking in sex work if you got a girlfriend and you're fucking your girlfriend, bro.
Low paid job, they've not got the education to do anything better. So, and they're having sex with the partners, keep them interested. The partner's paying the bills. It's a sex work with one client.
100%. I said this. I tweeted it, and the whole world lost its mind because you know me. I'm a provocateur.
You're a retard.
But I said, yeah, women are sex workers. You can either have a bunch of customers with OnlyFans, or you can have one customer called a husband or boyfriend. Or you can be ugly, and unfortunately, then you got to get a job. But if you're pretty enough, you don't do that. You find a boyfriend, or a husband, or a sugar daddy, whatever you want to call him, and he's paying your bills. Go to Saint-Tropez, Monaco, Cannes, go to Miami, go to Dubai, go to Hong Kong, go to any of these cities and find a beautiful woman and ask her job. She either doesn't work because her boyfriend takes care of her, or she has some bullshit vanity project which loses money that her husband pays for. Owns a flower shop that loses money each month. Great. Businesswoman. Independent. Bullshit. Women are only ever been sex workers. Women have only ever translated their pussy into money. Or pussy into provision.
Someone says he's a troll. That may be true to an extent, but he sounds like he believes what he's saying right now.
Or pussy into protection. That's all women have ever done. Let's talk about the ancient days. When the ancient whoever.
He appealing to history and shit. He believed this shit.
The tribe got conquered by another tribe. You're sitting around, there's 100 men, there's 100 women, the 100 men go out to war, they lose, the conquering tribe comes and takes over the ground, takes over the women. What do the women do? Here's some pussy, don't kill me. Please.
It's not 1,500 anymore.
No, but it doesn't matter. That's all they've ever done. And I'm telling you now, you know you watch Hunger Games and there's fucking Katniss Evergreen running around with her bullshit fucking bow and arrow. When World War III finally comes, you're just going to see a whole bunch of women hooking. That's all they're going to do. They're like, shit, World War III, I need money. I need a man who can protect me. Here's some pussy. Anyone?
I would have fucked Hitler to survive.
Of course. Women will fuck anyone to survive. Look at France in World War II. You hear about the war brides? They all had their heads shaved. You know about this? Oh, you didn't know. I'll tell you. The Nazis kicked the fuck out of all the French. Then the Nazi soldiers turn up to Paris. Nazi soldiers have money. Average Frenchman.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's niggas that would suck dick to survive. What you talking about, bro? Bro, there's a lot of cowards out there. You feel me? It's a lot of... Dude's backdoor. Just look. All you got to do is look at snitching, bro. The fact that you will see dudes literally rat out their mans, bro. Send their best friend, their homies, their boys to prison for 10, 15, 20 years. Just so they don't got to sit down in prison for a crime that they both committed. Yeah, bro. This is bullshit, man. All humans do the same shit, bro. Men and women across all races. You can find men and women. You can find blacks, white, Asian. They all do it. You can find strong people and weak people in all these categories, bro.
Man, he either lost in war, lost a leg, and has no money. He's a brokey. The Nazi guy, he's got money. He's got the German Deutschmark. He's got a nice uniform. He's a winner. All the French women were fucking the Nazis. They killed their husband. They're fucking the next guy a year later. Why? Because he can provide, he can protect. They give him status. They get to go out and party. They all had their heads shaved afterwards once the Americans kicked the Germans out of France.
If you believe niggas is sucking dick and taking it in the booty just to get a rap deal, just to get a music record deal, you don't think they do that shit to not die? Oh, you out of your mind, nigga.
I would have been bold straight away.
Well, there you go. This is what women do. Women say, okay, let me look at the world. I'm not as strong as a man. I'm not as determined as a man. I'm not as intelligent as a man. I can't do any of these things men can do. What's the one differentiator I have? Pussy. So let me turn my pussy into what I want. That's not a bad thing. That's just understanding the world, right?
Do you think this
nigga never went to college? That's how you know he never went to college, if he doesn't think there are women that are smarter than men. Nigga, I saw bitches fucking when I was in Calc 3, nigga, and looking at the whiteboard like it's hieroglyphics. You see chicks, they fucking crushing that shit, nigga. You also saw dudes crushing that shit. But again, I don't know how niggas is just eating this up. You gotta be a real simple cell. You know what I'm saying? A real simple cell to be eating this shit up. If this is what it takes to give yourself some degree of self-worth or self-esteem, is this fantasy in your mind that all women are inferior to all men is just bullshit. It's ridiculous.
It's a positive message for society.
I'm not here giving...
Now, yeah, the statistics bear out that on average, the highest IQs belong to men, but so are the lowest.
messages. I am a commentator, sir.
I'd say if anything, it's factual.
A commentator
I'm a
give messages.
commentator, sir. I see the I'm not playing football. I'm commentating on the game. That's all I'm doing.
And people are listening to you.
Well, they're listening to me commentate. I'm telling everyone how it works.
Everything we've said you'd learn in history at school. Everything we're saying is factual. We're not
what
just
would you
saying,
learn in history at school about?
Well, I didn't really listen
sleeping
too
with
much at
people?
school, but yeah, I learned at school that people had their head shaved.
Yeah.
Like you learn about what happened at the war, and that happened. That's factual. You didn't ever learn at school, oh, the women went to war. No, of course they didn't. They stayed at home. They cooked. They had the house ready. Like so, it stayed the same. Everything we're saying is factual.
Yeah, like Rob, what have I said that's incorrect? And the reason I'm saying all these things is to highlight how it's awfully.
Well, if I was doing an interview, I would have said all the shit I've already said so far. You know, this nigga Rob, he an Andrew Tate meat writer, obviously.
Hypocritical for anybody.
What you gotta be in order to get an interview with Andrew Tate.
In modern Western society, anybody who believes in women's liberation, anyone who believes women should be allowed to vote, anyone who believes in women are allowed to lead a country, anyone who listens to their wife's stupid opinions on anything, to give Bonnie a second of hard time. Because it's all the same thought pattern. It's all the same thought process. If you're a man who says, I have a wife and we got married when she was a virgin and she doesn't vote and she obeys me absolutely and I'm the king of this household, then maybe you could have an opinion. But if you're going to sit there and go, oh, my wife has a past, but I love her anyway, then fucking shut the fuck up. And that's 99% of men.
You think a woman has ever stopped a man from crashing out? If you listen to your woman's opinion on anything, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. There is some bullshit that I have done that if I listened to my wife's opinion, I wouldn't have did it, bro. I swear to you. It's ridiculous, this man's opinion. There's a lot of dudes sitting in prison right now that if they had just listened to their wife, they wouldn't have ended up in prison, bro. I promise you.
Rob, do you understand that about 3 times a week, I see a woman I've plowed get married on Instagram? Do you understand? I see it. I see the man walking down the aisle holding her hand, doing the whole humiliation ritual. I see the whole thing. He got on one knee. And I just watch it. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
But I don't think there's anything wrong with that, though.
No, but there is.
But why? Like,
because I know what happened that night.
But people
so
have
it
got
is.
fucked.
Well, aren't you under investigation for things like that?
Give a fuck. But the point is this. If that man's going to go, everyone has a past, then who is he to comment on anything else? Because her past was me, sir.
So are all of your girlfriends virgins before you?
Well, here's where you have to, as a man, do your best to find a woman, if you want to take her seriously, with as little history as possible, if that's the kind of thing that bothers you.
And does it bother you?
Well, it depends.
I mean, surely your best place to go then is high school.
Well, we have to be careful. I'm under investigation here. But it depends because there's different categories of women.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga just said, I don't give a fuck. Oh, well, actually, I'm under investigation, so let me be careful.
Right? Everything in life is actually fine if you keep everything in the right place. If you use a fork for forking and a spoon for spooning, everything's fine. It only gets confusing when you try and mix the two up. All men love whores. Men love whores.
We've got good technique.
Of course. Any man who sits there and says...
Do you love whores then?
Any man who says he doesn't love whores is a fucking liar.
So you love whores?
Well, if I'm on a boat in Miami, I don't want
Would
nuns.
you prefer a blowjob with your teeth or the mouth? You need someone with experience.
Well, if you want girls who are just a good time, they're not going to be that emotionally invested. They're probably going to be sluts. If you're going to go to a party with 20 women, you want women who are just a good time. Good time women are hoes and men love hoes. But men want the dichotomy because we want our cake and eat it. We want a wife and we want hoes and we want both.
Mm.
It only gets confusing for a man when he puts them in the wrong category. What will happen is a man will meet a hoe, fall in love with her because he can't control himself, and then try and say, oh, no, she's wifey because he's in love with her because he's an idiot. But if you're me and you can sit and go, okay, that one's a good one. She's wifey. Those are the hoes. They're this. And you just keep everything in its right place. It's fine.
So Bonnie's a hoe?
I don't want to insult Bonnie Blue.
You can't insult me.
I mean, you called her a hoe when I last talked to you.
No, I said she was a whore. And
I said, what's the difference between a hoe and a whore?
Well, there is a big difference because whores get paid. And whores are actually a much higher social standing than a hoe because hoes are fucking dumb and they're doing it for free.
Yeah.
Whores make money. So I think she's a whore.
I didn't know that difference.
Well, now you do.
I think that's legitimate. I think that's a real.
No,
I always say people can call me a prostitute, slut, slag, whore, whatever. I don't care. Like, you just can't insult me. Like, I own it. Whatever word you want to call me, whether you say
it's not even insulting. It's just a factual description.
Yeah.
It's a factual description.
If anything, it turns me on.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's why she's so good at her job.
By the time you finish calling me a whore, I'm going to leave this chair with a wet patch.
Well, there you go. That's why she's so good at her job. I have that effect anyway. But the point I'm making here is any man who sits and goes, oh, I hate whores, I hate hoes, that's all a fucking lie. There's scenarios in which they're very welcome and very liked. But there's scenarios in which they're not. So everyone has their standing in life. Everyone has their place in life.
Yeah.
Bonnie, even I would argue, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but you can correct me. Bonnie will have sex with one man, or have sex with a certain type of man, or have sex with whoever, but she'd marry a different type of man. To marry someone is different than having sex with someone. You wouldn't just marry anyone, would you? You'd have to kind of like him.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be completely different. Like, I generally have sex with anyone of legal age, but if I'm thinking of marriage, it's completely different.
Okay, so even in Bonnie's mind, there are people she treats a certain way and respects in a certain way, and there's people she has sex with without any emotional attachment. That's exactly how it is as a man. There's a woman you'll treat a certain way and have a certain amount of feeling for, and there's women you just fuck. That's it. So everything's actually fine. Men saying they hate whores and they hate all this, that's all a fucking lie. Men love whores in the right scenario.
I mean, yeah, well, it makes perfect sense, because to justify fucking, she just need to be able to make your dick hard. But marriage, that comes with all kinds of other shit attached to it. So different requirements.
So you're asking me,
that ain't nothing profound. It's pretty simple.
Girlfriends. Well, I mean, it depends. If you catch me on a boat, if you catch me on my yacht with 25 women, are they all virgins? Fuck no. But do I have children from some virgins? Yes.
If you ever host a virgin party, count me in.
How would you get into a virgin party?
Well, no, but I'd be there to take the virginities. I'm obsessed with it.
Why are you obsessed with taking boys' virginities?
Well, just like how Andrew likes 18-year-old.
Wait. Okay. Careful now.
Sorry, should I go
I'm
younger?
under investigation.
I mean, nigga, you already dry snitched on yourself. You and Tristan got mad videos of y'all celebrating taking bitches' virginities. 16, 17, 18-year-old virgins. So too late for that, buddy.
What I have said.
Andrew, 18 is a legal age. I don't know what you class as legal.
No,
but
18 is legal. You're right.
Yeah.
But the reason, actually, and it's interesting you said this, but the reason men prefer younger women is because they have less history. That's why.
Yeah.
The average 22-year-old has lived less life than the average 30-year-old. That's why men prefer younger women in general.
Bullshit.
But sorry.
Men like younger women because younger women are more attractive. That's it. You know, and I'm not talking about no weirdo shit like 16, 17 like this nigga been doing. I'm just saying in general, yeah. A chick at 21 is going to be more attractive than when she's 31. You know, youthfulness is attractive on everybody, both men and women. But I think women prioritize above attractiveness just your whole thing, you know what I'm saying? But I think if a woman could find a 23-year-old dude with the money and maturity of a 33-year-old dude, she would prefer the 23-year-old dude because he's in better shape physically, more than likely.
To interrupt you, but I'm just clarifying because everything gets clip farmed, and before you know it, you know, I'm back in handcuffs.
So not 18, 19. But I'd happily take an 18-year-old on their birthday. Like
Why?
Closer to 18. I just want them, you know, to be young, innocent. I want to strip them from that. I want to
steal
take
their
their
innocence.
I want to watch
Like
their
Shang
toes
Tsung.
curl up as they come for the first time from a girl. Like, I love that. And I also think it's educational. So I'm obsessed
How's
with
it
it.
educational?
You think about sex education at school. It's from a middle-aged teacher that's not been laid. And they basically say you have sex or you're probably going to die from an STD. There's no information. If anything, they should whip up one of my DVDs, put it on screen and show, look, that's how the dick enters the pussy. This is how you get a girl wet. There's none of that. So me having sex with them shows this is a woman's body. Yes, a woman's, Andrew, not trans. And
I don't think you're trans.
and
We'll come to that.
They don't know how to pleasure a girl. They've not touched a girl. They've just watched videos, you know, online where they're slapping, they're choking, they're hair pulling. And then they go to do it on a woman or a girl for the first time.
That's
She's
terrible.
probably going to cry rape for the next day.
Yeah, you're probably going to get a criminal charge of that. You're probably going to get sued if that happens.
Probably need to talk from experience there. But like with me, I love educating. Okay, so your son will probably lose his virginity after going to a club. He's probably been drinking. The girl might have done drugs. They then go back to some hotel or parents'
I don't
house,
think
whatever.
I'm raising him that way.
Okay,
Yeah.
but regardless.
What about if he falls in love and loses his virginity to someone he loves?
And what if the world becomes a really happy place? You're talking, it's unrealistic. when people lose their virginity, it's probably after a night out.
So it's more realistic I send my son to you.
Yeah.
Who slept with 1,000.
Are you saying, Rob, that your children are going to do what you want? Is
On
that
your
what you're trying to
18th,
say?
on his 18th
Because
birthday,
they're independent people, Rob. No, they can make
Now
their
he's
own decisions,
controlling.
Rob.
They
Don't
can.
come out with that crap.
But
Well,
when you
I
say-
think my kids are. You don't have kids, and I think my
No.
kids are older than your kids. So de facto, I think I've got a bit more experience in being a dad. Because
his
everyone
18th
talks about how it is until their kids actually do disobey them, which they do.
No, they won't.
Right, Rob, on your son's 18th birthday, I'll be stood on the driveway with a balloon and a happy birthday card. I'll take his virginity, but I'll take him to a safe, controlled environment. I'm not going to cry rape the next day. I'm STD tested. I can educate him on a body. So the next girl he sleeps with, because if that's the girl he falls in love with, she's going to want a good shag. She's going to want to be pleasured. She's want to walk away from him and go, fuck, that was good. Yeah, I want to see him again. I want to stay loyal to him because he was amazing in the bedroom.
Rob, you should do it.
Do you really believe this?
Rob, do
Yeah.
it.
Okay, would you send your son to
It's bullshit. You do not need. That's crazy. Sending your son off to a whore, a hooker, so that he can learn how to fuck good for his future girlfriend or wife is insane. But Bonnie, she just be saying shit. She's just trying to get people to sign up for her OnlyFans.
Bonnie, age 18, birthday?
I don't need to, but you need to.
I don't need to.
Yes, you do.
Are you judging me,
Yeah,
Andrew?
of course. I'm just saying that, like.
Andrew, I do father and son as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
Shout out to Simba.
But
Brother and brother?
No,
Bit of double
no way.
penetration?
no way.
Well, you need to find out if I'm trans. I think you and your brother, double penetration, then you'll know the truth.
Okay, first things first. You're not trans, and I knew you weren't trans. 100%.
Is that because you've had multiple wanks?
No, it's just 100%.
Or is
you're
that
not
because
trans.
you left this at my last event? Oh, you don't want to touch it? I thought you might be thirsty. You want to rinse it for cum?
Bonnie. Bonnie. I knew you weren't trans. However,
Yeah.
I would argue that a lot of the men who fuck you are gay.
No, it can be intimidating though for guys.
No, it's not about intimidation. They are gay.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Because
Their
All right, let's hear this one.
dick is entering a pussy.
there's too much male DNA all around that scenario. The reason I find female promiscuity, by and large, for my
Yeah.
personal sexual appetite, quite disgusting, is because I don't like the thought of other men anywhere near what I'm going to fuck. I'm
Yeah.
so not gay that I don't like that there have been men there.
Except if you're on a boat with 25 of them.
Well, if that's whoreland. When you're if you're in whoreland, it's whoreland. You
So
don't
that's
care.
the fork box.
So it's
the
not
spoon
gay
box.
anymore? Wait, what? Huh?
I guess you could argue that, yes. My point is, if I was going to take a woman seriously, the idea of another man being near her, I find repulsive. And I find it repulsive because the idea of the man repulses me by...
So it's only gay if it's your girlfriend. But you can go ahead and fuck whores who slept with dozens, scores, hundreds of men if you're on a boat in Florida. How does anyone take this man seriously?
and large.
Yeah.
Any man who's happy to have sex with that many other men, when there's that much other male DNA in the room, I would argue has a streak of homosexuality to some degree. I would argue that those
Yeah.
men are gay. Now, you're not trans, but I don't think a straight man wants to fuck a pussy that's had 10 dicks in it, or 20 dicks in it, or 50 dicks in it.
What about 1,057?
Well, I don't know. Maybe these men are just bi, or I don't know. Maybe they're desperate.
This nigga's for sure fuck escorts and whores and shit like that. I don't know what he getting on about.
You can argue lots of things. You
See,
know?
I don't agree, but I do get where you're coming from. Like some of these guys, especially 6 hours in, they come to me. It's the floor's like an ice rink. There's that much cum on there. My face, I'm barely recognizable. Like my hair is slicked back. My eyes are full of cum. Like my whole body is so slippery from cum. And yet they still come, they kiss me, they touch me. And I think, fuck, what if they don't want to touch me because I'm covered in another guy's cum? And when I do the
That
gangbang,
shit's gay as fuck. I don't care what whatever she's saying here. This might be one of the few things that I agree with Andrew on. You cannot, bro, just eat. I don't want to be in the same room as another nigga's semen, bro. What the fuck? Just what's that over there? Cum? It's his cum. No thanks. Get me out of here.
bangs and there's a lot of men together, I have security in that room. A lot of people assume
Bro, imagine some wet shit touch your arm, nigga. Like, ah!
that security's for me. It's not. It's for the other guys because I'm always concerned, like, fuck, if another guy comes and it hits another guy, I don't want a fight to break out. I don't want them to be like, oh, that's gay, don't touch me. So there's always security when I do these events, but it's predominantly for the guys because I'm scared a fight's going to break out because they think it's gay.
And you respect this profession?
I understand the profession. The profession has been around for a very long time. I respect the honesty, actually, what I said. But yeah, I think the men who turn up to these events are gay, by and large. I think they're at least bi. Because I think that if you're a straight man, you don't really want to be near other kind of men's genitals. And time.
I don't go that far. It's possible you just a freak or you just so down bad. You know what they say, beggars can't be choosers. And I imagine Bonnie says she's taking mad virginities. It's mad simple cells pulling up to these events like, man, this is the only pussy I'm gonna ever get in my life. At least without pain. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a factor as well. But yeah, man, you do gotta be unusually comfortable with another man's semen to participate in an event like this. So there is a point being made here.
In and of itself, we should resurrect Einstein and get him in this conversation. He'll tell you more about it than me. But, time's all happening at once, they say. And that, it's not linear like we believe. And there's another dimension where everything happens at once. Have you seen Interstellar?
Yes.
Cool. So if you fuck her after she's been fucked, you're fucking her the same time she is being fucked, and the dick is in there with your dick, and it's all happening in one big fucking time warp of jizz. And it's better if you're just nowhere near it. If you just don't go anywhere near it.
This conversation is getting me really wet.
Well, this is the thing. Well, I'm sure that when I see your next event, time warp of jizz, I expect a cut. But so for me, women say this. Oh yeah, but it was before I met you. I don't give a fuck if it was before you knew my name. You got fucked, and that's disgusting. And that offends me now. You cheated on me before I met you. That is terrible.
Is that not your insecurity?
Well, that's a perfect word. So people call it insecurity. You got onto my point. It's almost like you can read my mind, Rob. People call it insecurity. They say,
if you've got 1 inch, the other guys are going to have bigger dicks.
Well, people call it insecurity, and people call it lots of things. But truthfully, what it is heterosexuality. And any of these men who go, oh, yeah, I don't mind her being covered in cum, they need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and probably get an AIDS test because they're gay. And that's fine. I mean, some people are gay. But you can be gay. You can have gay sex with a woman.
Guys, if you ever fought with a bitch that's ever had sex with another man, you're gay. Just remember that.
Of course you can. I mean, the point of having sex with a woman is to get her pregnant. By and large. I'd argue that being horny in general is kind of gay. To be like, I'm so horny. Like, I'm a full-grown man. I'm so horny. I'm so horny. Like, who?
Andrew, the gayest of them all then. This nigga for sure has fought with whores and hookers, and he was surrounded himself with literal porn stars, bro. You don't think he fucked any of them? Oh, they were all virgins. Sure.
But to me, gay's fucking another guy.
No. Gay's doing gay shit, bro. Gay's having sex with a woman without the intention of impregnating her, having sex with a woman who's covered in cum, fucking all this is just gay sex. It's all gay. Have sex with a woman and have a child.
What, so you only have sex on ovulation day?
It's not about that, but there has to be a chance. So there has to be a chance of a child arriving.
But what about on your boat with 25 hoes?
Who says I even fuck them? You think, Rob, this is what I mean.
Do you? If he didn't, he would say he doesn't fuck them.
You're so trapped in the Matrix. You're so trapped in the Matrix.
I think you're judging me, Andrew.
No, you think
I'm not trapped in the. You know I'm not trapped in the Matrix.
Look, if this guy wanted to fucking push back on Andrew any at all he would have to say is, "Have you ever fucked a girl that's not a virgin?" That's it. Have you ever had sex with a chick that's not a virgin? Oh, you have? You're gay.
You think I'll get 25 whores on a boat and then be like, "Yeah, let me fuck them"? No, I just want 25 whores on my boat because it's like I want whores on my boat. I want trees in my forest. Like, they're just there because I've got a boat. I've got a boat and there's women on my boat and they're all beautiful and everyone's jealous of me while I sit there, and even though they all annoy me and I don't even want to.
Yeah. You're a single man, not in a marriage, surrounded by gorgeous women on a boat, and you don't want to fuck them. You're gay. That's actually gay. That's the gayest thing I've heard all day.
Fuck them. I just sit on my laptop, but that's just life. It's not even about fucking them.
You just sitting on your laptop playing virtual chess, nigga? That's some gay ass shit right there, bro.
It's all about the sex. You're thinking about sex. This is beyond sex. Nothing to do with sex.
Unless you're only having sex in ovulation, then you're gay. Because then that's the only way a girl's conceiving really is around ovulation.
Well, my point is that if there is a slight chance, and there's always a chance.
Very, very slim though.
Okay, but if there's a chance.
So, you're 50% gay.
If there's a chance of a baby appearing.
Yeah.
Then I would argue that is pretty heterosexual sex, because heterosexual sex leads to babies. What is the differentiator between heterosexual and homosexual sex? The primary differential.
I would think homosexual sex is when you have sex with somebody of the same sex. Let's listen to Andrew Tate explain how having sex with a woman can be gay. Let's go.
Between the two is offspring. So if you're having sex that cannot possibly lead to offspring in any way, that is gay sex.
Yeah, but who's...
If you're fucking a girl in the ass, you're gay. Why? If you're turning up with a condom and fucking a woman on birth control.
Now, I don't fuck with no ass play, nigga. That shit is a little suspect to me. I don't know if I'll go so far as to say you gay fucking a bitch in the ass, because it is still a woman, but you in some freaky waters there, my friend.
You're gay.
Do you do anything for pleasure? Do you do anything just for fun,
If you're a white
Andrew?
man who gets his fucking balls cut open, I know white boys who voluntarily get vasectomies. They voluntarily have their dick chopped to pieces just to make sure they don't accidentally have a beautiful child. Like, how fucking gay can you be? This is all gay sex. If I have sex, there's a chance of a kid. That's the life I live. That's the man I am.
Okay, all right. So Andrew doesn't believe in any form of contraception or protection. That means when he does fuck the whores on the boat in Florida, in Miami, who have had sex with hundreds of other men, he does it with no protection. That's all he's telling you there.
If the kid comes as a blessing from God, good. If no kid comes, fine. That's how it is.
How do you
but if you were to say to me, Andrew, you can come
Andrew is so full of shit, bro. Anyone who listens to this guy and believes that he has never had sex with a woman on the pill or without pulling out or without using a condom, you're a fucking idiot. If you believe that shit for a second, if you buy that shit. So that means Andrew has had gay sex before, is all I'm hearing.
have sex here, and there's no chance of there ever being a kid. It's just for fun.
There's always a
I would
chance,
say,
though.
sorry, I'm not gay.
Condoms aren't 100% reliable. So that day, someone did have a 0.01% chance of impregnating me.
Yeah, but they're trying to not have a kid.
Well, how do you know? Did you ask her?
Well, if you have a condom on, you're trying not to have a kid.
Who said I didn't put a pin in it?
The man putting the condom on his dick is trying to not have a kid. The realest nigger there would turn up and say, listen, I'm going to pregnant.
What did he just fucking say? Whoa! Nah, I know bro ain't dropped the hard R right there, bro. What the fuck was that? I forgot he a coon too. My bad, cause he's half black, so I forgot he's all on top of him being an idiot. He's all and a fucking predator. He's also a coon.
Pregnant Bonnie Blue. You all keep the condoms on. Fuck it. I'm having a baby out of this bitch because I ain't fucking for free. So let me get a kid at least. I mean, you got money to look after it. You can just block you on WhatsApp. You can raise it. That's free. That's free progeny. These people ain't thinking right.
Do you do anything just for fun?
Loads of stuff.
Like what?
But I don't think running around. I mean, maybe when I was younger, but I'm an old man now. I'm old. I'm 38. I really have no interest in fucking dead puss. You know when girls sit and say, I'm on birth control. Disgusting. Vile. There's nothing more disgusting than a bitch on birth control.
Yeah, but I think it's
dead
disgusting if women get pregnant and they can't afford to look after that kid, or they end up in a council house on benefits and that kid has a shit life.
No, this is good. Bonnie,
Well,
this
that's
is good.
good.
No, let me explain.
We're going to run out of beans.
No, let me explain. This is a great thing. Feminism's led us here, and we voted to let in all these migrants, and all these migrants turn up and rape the state. Look, I've got hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
If I got a woman pregnant and she annoyed me, I'd say, yeah, call the council. Fuck you. Let's just rape the state like everyone else does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm brown enough. I'm black enough. I can do it. Put her in Marsh Farm, Luton, where I'm from. Be fine.
You wouldn't do that.
Who gives a fuck?
You wouldn't do that.
Who
Yeah, but that's your
cares?
kid.
She better text me respectfully. She can be rich. If she texts me beef, I'll be like, call the council, get a council house, whatever. Let's have kids. Let's just all live off the government.
Right. What? So is he a champion for conservative values if he's comfortable with getting bitches pregnant and having those children raised as fatherless children? People, bro, you cannot defend this bullshit by saying he's trolling. You have to just admit that he's a fucking jackass, bro. He's just a fucking clout-hungry jackass that says anything. You know, I mean, shit, bro. But that's literally the definition of being brainwashed and in a cult, by the way. If you only highlight the shit that he says that is true or relatable or reasonable, and then anytime he says anything that you with your logical brain knows is either a contradiction to some other shit he teaches or just fucking stupid, you write it off as him trolling. You're in a cult, bro. That's a, trust me, I know what it's like to be in a cult, bro. You're in a fucking cult. If you make excuses for all the bullshit and only hold on to the good shit, you're a cult member, bro.
This is feminism. Because you don't live off the government if you have a husband. They don't want husbands. And they don't want husbands. Women want to get married, but they don't want husbands. They want to get married like Sex in the City style. You know, like you fuck a million men, then you get married to some really rich guy who lets you do whatever you want. Then you have an affair with the gardener, and then you spend all his money, and then somehow you're still the victim. That's the kind of marriage they want.
That's
they
most
don't
women's dream.
That's right. They don't actually want to be wives because wives are obedient and wives are quiet and wives listen. All women say this. I want to marry you. I want to marry you. Wait till you're in an argument with them and read their messages and go, this is why I will never marry you. This is why I will never marry you. I read their messages and they don't realize that they've ruined their chance forever. I cannot marry you because of how you talk. A wife doesn't do this. I've told you to be quiet 3 times.
What you can do is say, go and get on that naughty corner.
That's right.
That naughty step.
So women don't want to be wives. They want to just get married, which means that the whole familiar structure is broken. Once the family structure is broken, who has to take the place? Government. Think about this. In Romania, we have no mental health care. Why are there no mental people or out in the streets? Family. We have no forced child support. Why are women not starving to death? Family. We have no disability care. Why are people not sitting on the streets with no legs? Family. Family does so much work. In the West, we have no family. So the government has to come along and offer mental health care, disability care, forced child support. The government has to do it because of feminism. So what I'm saying is if women don't want to get married to men anymore and they all want to listen to the fucking government, then the government can raise the motherfucking kids. Fine. Rob, you put 4 women in front of me, all different flavors. You give me Indian, Chinese, black, white, whatever. And you say you fuck them all and have a kid out of all of them and they'll all be raised on council estates around England. I'd say no problem. Why not? Why the fuck not? If they're real niggers, they'll survive.
If you don't feel guilty, that's your child.
Why would I feel guilty?
This dude's a cornball, man.
Because that's your child, it's your DNA.
Of course, and if the woman's nice to me and says, Andrew, I'm tired of living in Runcorn. Can I come live in Dubai in a mansion? I'll say, of course, my dear.
Then,
if she annoys me, if she's like, oh, I'm here in Dubai and you left me by myself and you're with all these other women, who are all these whores on your boat? Then I'll be like, bitch, go back to Runcorn.
Take the kid off her.
No, I'm not going to take the kid off her. She can keep the kid.
But it's your DNA.
Yeah, of course. And my DNA is survivor DNA.
But if you've got bias. A proper wife,
if I have
that
50
wife will
kids,
take that
at least 5 of them will be real niggas. I don't need the other 45. Look, it's survival of the fittest out here. This is how it works. This is how my brain works. But you're saying, I don't know why we're going to sit here and create the logic fail of pretending it is wrong for a government to raise the children when that was a man's job, when men have had all of their authority removed. You want us to have the responsibility of a woman, the responsibility of a family, the responsibility of children, the responsibilities with none of the authority. You can't tell a woman what to do. You can't tell her to be quiet. You can't tell your kids off. You can't tell her not to suck dick. You can't tell her not to go out with her friends. If you do any of that, it's emotionally coercive behavior. That's a criminal charge in England. If you tell your own wife not to go to the pub and fuck, you're the criminal.
Oh, you're so controlling.
That's right.
Let me do stuff.
But
okay.
But I'm still responsible? No. Looks like the government.
This is a fantasy. This is why his fan base is mostly like woman hating, like simple cells who get no pussy. Like what world does he live in, bro? Where you can't tell your wife what, like, draw boundaries in your marriage or in your relationship. What world does he live in? Again, taking advice on marriage from a nigga that's never been married, by the way. That's another thing. This nigga trying to tell you everything about marriage. This nigga never been married a day in his life, bro. All right, bro.
Government has more power than me. So if you want to play this game and take all of my authority away as a man, you want to reduce me to nothing more than a tax slave. Well, then I'm going to play your game back at you. I have no authority, so I have no responsibility. I will look after children. And I will look after the women who give me absolute authority over their lives, who say, yes, sir, anything you say, sir, I trust what you believe in the world. I trust you're guiding us. I trust you to take care of us. Yes, sir. Those women are driving Bentleys currently, living in mansions currently. And the women who say, I don't want to listen to you, I want to do what I want, are currently in council houses. And I have kids with all of them. And I don't give a fuck. Because this is my masculine.
So he cares more about dominating completely the women that he impregnates than raising children, raising his children in a good environment. That's what he prioritizes. Yeah, sounds like a real stand-up guy.
Imperative to impregnate.
Oh, you're Andrew Tate's son, but your mother doesn't want to submit to him completely like a fucking slave. Oh, have fun being poor and not ever seeing your dad because he's a real man.
Nate. And when I die, no matter what you think of me, no matter what anyone thinks of me, no matter what anyone watches this, has a bad problem with me, whatever, I get to die with 100 children. I win. I had 100 kids. I was one of the most famous men on the planet, made hundreds of millions of dollars, spent a little time in jail, whatever. I win. Great life. Genghis Khan. There's men out there who go, oh no, do you know I've got my 2 kids, that's enough. That's your choice. To me, it sounds like failure, perma-failure. And the only reason they're doing that is because their women wouldn't give them more. Or they're afraid to have kids with another woman in case their woman finds out.
A lot of guys, though, like I speak to, the wife wants to...
Or they just want to raise all the kids they have. This nigga not raising none of his kids. I don't believe Andrew lived with a single one of his children. He thinks that just because he financially supports the ones that, I guess, obey him like a lapdog, that counts as being a father. No, nigga, you're just a sperm donor and a fucking piggy bank because these bitches just living off of you. All they had to do was get pregnant, say, you know, jump when you say jump. You're giving them lives of luxury and you're paying for their kids. That ain't impressive to me, nigga.
Another kid.
It sounds like you a trick. To be real, you getting finessed by these bitches.
They don't want it because they know they'd have to work longer hours. They know they'd have to do more work. Yeah, the wife wants another kid because she's like, fucking hell, what's going to happen in a few months? I'm going to have to go back to work. I don't want to go back to work. Hey, I'm going to pop out another kid. So a lot of the time, I think the women do want more kids and the dads don't, but it's because of the pressure. They know that that additional kid is going to mean in terms of income.
It's because they're gay.
They're not gay.
They're gay.
Bonnie, do you think Andrew Tate is guilty of the charges against him?
I don't know. What's the saying? Innocent till proven... No, yeah, innocent till proven guilty. Are you a rapist?
What do you really think? What do you think?
No, I think why would he? He gets pussy easy enough. Why go and cause drama for yourself?
If I was there, I'd say, yes, this nigga did all that shit. He actually already admitted to it on video.
Bonnie is the...
I only believe Andrew is guilty of the crimes he's already admitted to on video. That's me. I'm a fair guy.
Most based person. You know that you're probably one of the smartest women I've spoken to.
I'm quite smart. To say I'm a slut, I have a brain and I am smart, only in what I do. For example, like, if you ask me about sex work, media, or marketing, I've got an answer.
She only saying this because she's scared that this nigga gonna grape her. She's like, yo, I ain't go say what I think with this nigga in the room. He might choke me to death.
You ask me about other shit.
Don wouldn't say it in person. I promise you 1,000,000% I'd say it in person. No hesitation. Oh, nah, I only think you did the shit you said you did on camera. That's me.
I don't know. I don't even know where. I thought it was on.
Nigga, I'm not a pussy like you, bro.
Right now, we're not. But I think, why would someone like Andrew go and rape someone? He can get like unlimited pussy. Why cause a headache for yourself? Why go and pay a lawyer? Why give more money to the government? He could just join my queue. I've seen him there multiple times.
All right, I was with you till then. Bonnie's based. Bonnie understands the world very well. I think that's why we kind of understand each other. She understands the world very well. Of course, I haven't raped anyone. What I did was not buy girls handbags who wanted handbags, and then they did what women do, which is cry rape.
They want attention and they want money.
Of course. They want attention and money. And everyone with a brain knows they want attention and money.
Did they cry rape, or was it the system that came for you first?
Well, this is the thing. When the system starts calling every single woman and promises them money, and you've slept with a bunch of them, they only need to find 1 or 2 out of the 1,000, and then there you go. And then they can make criminal charges on you, which is what they did to me. They call 1,000 women. They find a couple who want money or fame, and they get them to make lies up about you so that the government can attack you. This is my point by and large. This is why, if anyone's confused about my opinions on anything, I want you to understand, men now, we are such second-class citizens. We have no authority. We have no autonomy. We have nothing left inside of us.
All the most powerful people in the world are men. What the fuck are you saying, nigga?
We have no capability to even defend ourselves against heinous allegations which are raised in retrospect of action. We're expected to pay all the taxes. We're expected to build the roads. We're expected to go to work every day. We're expected to die in a ditch if the country needs defending. We're expected to stay on the boat when the boat is sinking. We're expected to do all of these things. But it turns out the government and women can wreck us by and large. We are nothing but slaves and serfs to the matriarchy now. And because we live in this matriarchal system where men are absolutely abused, nobody gives a shit about our mental health. Nobody gives a shit about our physical health. All we talk about is breast cancer. That's not even the top 10 cancers, I believe. I think prostate cancer's 10 times the amount. Nobody gives a fuck if men die. Nobody gives a fuck if we kill ourselves. Nobody cares if we do worse in school. Nobody cares most of us go to jail. They don't care about any of it. So we are slaves. So what I do as a slave is say, well, if I'm a slave here in this system, then I don't see why I need to be responsible enough to worry about paying for this kid, for example. If you're going to treat me like a fucking bitch and the government's going to come along like Big Daddy, is going to poison my woman's mind so she doesn't listen to me, is going to rape me in a divorce court, is going to throw me in jail based on false allegations, then how about you pay for the fucking...
Listen to how much fear this nigga, this nigga's whole life is ruled by fear. Scared the bitch going to divorce him, scared of this, scared of that. This nigga is afraid of life. He makes all of his decisions based on fear.
Children, fuck you. That's my view.
What do you think about that? Do you think like men are the lowest in society now?
I think men, if they speak out, they literally don't have a word against women nowadays. Especially with rape, there is a lot of men that get away with it, and that's terrible. But there's a lot of girls that just haven't got the right way, and the next day they cry rape. And I'm not saying that's all women. Rape does happen. It happens regardless. But like blaming Andrew for that, it's just girls that want attention. Those girls come forward like, oh my God, I'm the girl that Andrew Tate raped. They'll Instagram will shoot through the roof. They'll get paid. They'll probably get some sort of clothing brand deal because it's, oh my God, it's women empowerment. Look, you spoke out against someone that's, so hated. They'll be credited even though their stories are fake.
If Andrew Tate's a Muslim and Muslims teach that you shouldn't have sex before marriage, why is he crying about women talking about rape? How about you just teach what you supposedly believe and say men should only have sex with their wives? And if you get a false allegation because you fucked with some bitch you just met, that's just Allah punishing you for sinning against him. That's what he should be saying. But that won't go over well with his, women hating simple cell audience that suck his meat all the time.
Fake. They're the ones that will get praised.
100%. Bonnie is smart.
But you blame feminism on it.
Well, I blame a society in which women have been told that they can do and have anything they want all of the time. And we live in this unrealistic subsect of events. The world we now live in is completely unrealistic on basically every level.
That's how Bonnie is living, isn't it?
Well, no, I think Bonnie is actually taking...
I'm not crying rape. I'm not
She's
saying...
not crying rape.
Listen, women and men are equally responsible for the state of society because regardless of what feminism has done or teaches or whatever, a bitch can't prostitute herself without a nigga willing to fuck her. It takes two to tango, it takes two to dance. And so every men and women have to be equally blamed for whatever degeneracy we see going on in society.
People are taking advantage of me. I'm there saying, look, I'm a slut, I'm a whore, my holes are open. Come do it. But then when women say I'm taking them back, I'll give you the stats that I'm actually reducing rape rates.
But Rob, this is important because Bonnie is the only person who is honest. Saying I'm a whore, fuck me, and I'll make money from it is far more honest than saying, oh, I love you so much, I'll be your girlfriend. Oh, can you buy me this handbag? Oh, you won't buy me the handbag, rape. Or I love you so much, let's get married. Oh, I'm unhappy in this marriage, give me half your stuff. She's the most honest woman of all. This is exactly what men should be hoping for, to meet a woman this honest. Because most women... I'm not
going to hide my past. I'm not going to say, you know what, I'm really innocent. I'll say, you know what, I fucked 1,057 men. Yes, I want to get to a body goal of 10,000. But I am honest. I'm not hiding it. My phone hasn't got a password. Like, I am just so open and transparent.
You want to get...
Bonnie is not a hero, though. She's just taking advantage of the situation. And, hey, she's not breaking the law. So do whatever you want to do, man. You reap what you sow, and you have to deal with whatever consequences you face for your decisions. But if you're not hurting anybody else, she's not doing anything illegal. Everyone that participates is doing so with their consent, nigga, I ain't got a problem with it.
Get to a body count of 10,000 men.
Yeah.
Would you rather meet Bonnie, who tells you all of this, or a woman who goes, oh, really? No, I haven't really done much, when she's done everything and she's been a total fucking whore and she's lying to you. And then you marry her believing she's a good girl. And then she takes you to the divorce court and completely wrecks you. You know what? Men say, oh, my woman's not a gold digger. Go to divorce court. Don't talk about gold diggers. Go to divorce court and you will soon learn that every single female on the planet wants your money. All. I've never seen anybody go to divorce court and say, she's not after my money, funnily enough. She just wants to get a divorce. No, every single time they want
women
every
take
fucking,
the house.
They want to take
Cardi B didn't want Offset's money.
Everything. They're all gold diggers. So it's actually very interesting. I respect Bonnie because you know exactly what you're getting. If you show me a scorpion and I know you're a scorpion, fine. Don't put a scorpion in a fucking bunny suit. You understand?
With me, you get good technique and money.
You get it's honest. I respect the honesty of it. And people are going to sit here, and there are people who do it. They're going to sit here and go, well, Bonnie Blue does.
And that doesn't make a woman a gold digger because she wants half of the assets after a divorce. Like, that's literally the paperwork you sign, nigga. Don't get married if you don't, or get a prenup. That's all your fault. You literally signed a contract that says, if we get a divorce, you are entitled to half of our joined assets. That doesn't now make her a gold digger when y'all end up getting divorced. It makes you fucking stupid if you're surprised.
This is disgusting. Ain't that right, babe? Ain't that right, babe? And they'll hold Babe's hand, knowing that Babe's fucking worse. Babe's a fucking skank. They met her in a fucking pub, three Jägermeisters in. She's prepared to fuck that guy, whoever he is, who's a fucking nobody. You're watching this at home, all you guys watching this at home, and you think your wife really loves you. Do you think I couldn't take your bitch? Of course I could.
I think
she chose you because she ain't met
You couldn't, nigga. That I know for a fact.
me, bruv. That's it. So, like, you're pretending your wife's any better? It's bullshit. I love Bonnie's honesty. And she knows. I'm going to bring her to court. You're my lawyer. I'm adding you to the legal team. This bitch is lying. She wanted money. That's it. So as a man now, you talk about the different forks and spoons and stuff. Let's talk about this. If I have a woman who I take care of and she's wife.
Only like broken, weak women and women who are just trying to get a bag would be into Andrew Tate.
Being whatever, she's wifey in a certain scenario. That's fine. But if I'm going to put 25 girls on a boat, don't I want girls who are honest, who are open, who know why they're there? They're there because I'm rich and I have them there because they're hot and we all know why everyone's there. I'm less likely to get trouble with those kind of women than the women who go, oh, I'm so innocent, I'm so sweet. Those
Andrew
rape
took
victims.
advantage of me. Andrew took me on a boat and this and this happened. Whereas like, you take me on a boat, guaranteed no, your lawyers aren't getting involved. I'll say, if anything, I put it on you. That's more realistic.
What advice would you give to Bonnie now she's starting to get cancelled like you've been?
Well, I'm sure she's smart enough to understand have to find a way to monetize and become independent outside of the matrix like I did. You have to find some clever ways to do it, and it's very doable. I think Bonnie's going to continue to get paid using what she knows how to do to become financially successful, which is a fantastic thing to do. Why not? No point doing it for free. I think Bonnie's smart enough to work
King
it all
Buck
out.
was like, didn't you say that's gay? He did. He said that it's gay to have sex with a woman that's had sex with another man. So, well, of course he does that shit all the time. He has sex with women that aren't virgins, I'm sure.
And I don't think she gives a shit what they say negative about her because there's no such thing as bad press. I mean, I'm probably the most negatively spoke about guy on the planet.
Does that bother you?
I don't give a fuck. And I just really, my only thing for
People don't constantly talk about shit they don't give a fuck about.
Bonnie, and I'm actually going to ask you a question. I really hope, Bonnie, that you stay true to the end. I hope you're real G about this. I don't want you to start busting out a cross and talking about God in about 5 years from now.
I thought you were a Muslim. You don't want her to become Muslim. You don't want her to go to heaven. You don't want her to repent.
I mean, I might insert it inside of me, but there's no way you're going to see me at church unless it's for a gangbang.
No, I don't want any of that I'm reformed bullshit. No. I don't want any of that crap and saying my past doesn't matter because I've been born again. Please don't do that. I want you until the end in the old people's home. I want, petting zoo, 85-year-old petting zoo. I want you to do it to the end. And stay real about your choices.
100%.
All right. Well, then she's a real G. Then she made her decision. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Live by the code. Street life. It is what it is. Like me, I could have fucking pussied out by now when they put me in jail. I could have started saying, yeah, women should vote. No, they shouldn't. So fuck you, put me in jail. That I stick to what I mean. She's going to stick to what she means and what she says and what she wants to do. She's not going to start busting out and trying to use religion as a shield. Because that's what most of these OnlyFans girls do.
Yeah.
And there's always some white boy, especially
They've
white
got no
boys.
motivation in life. They don't know what to do. They're like, okay, what can I do now? Oh, okay, my OF's dropping or my Fansy account's dropping. I know, let's just say I found God. They've got no motivation or drive in life. They have to be given a purpose. You have to be given a reason to live. It's either, have a couple
Well, they don't
of
want to take
kids.
responsibility for what they did.
Yeah.
What they want to do is they want to erase their past. So they want to get, these OnlyFans girls, they say, oh, I'm traditional now and God, and they wave a cross around. And then some little white boy who goes to church all the time, who's never had pussy in his life, is like, she's reformed. Bro, pathetic. But the women get away with it. So as long as they get away with it, you can't blame the thief for stealing. You got to blame the guy who didn't lock his gold up, truthfully. And if these women get away with this scam and men want to fall for it, then it's up to them.
So
But
what
I just
Bonnie's
hope,
doing is a scam, is it?
No, I just don't want Bonnie to ever, change up the game. Stick to what you know.
One rule for one and one rule for another. And that's what's
No,
annoying.
but I find this interesting because most people are too fucking stupid to understand these false dichotomies we live under. And let's take Diddy, for example, right? I'm not defending Diddy.
Yeah.
What he did was probably wrong. I don't know. I haven't followed the case. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know what the fuck Diddy did. The guy, he was anti-Trump. He hated me. Me and Diddy don't even like each other. The only time we interacted on Twitter was beef. So I'm not defending the guy. What I'm saying is that black culture in America, the music, the culture, all it is sexualizing women and whores, getting as
This guy started a porn website. Let's not forget that. This guy started a cam girl company. He's about to cry about rap music and how degenerate it is. Let's just all pay attention to that.
as much money as possible, being a gangster.
This guy is a super coon.
Waving guns around, fucking loads of women. That's the culture.
That sounds like you.
I'm glad he fucking said it.
Careful.
See, he doesn't even have a response. He does. That's literally Andrew Tate's entire branding. Fucking women, flexing money, and posing with guns. That's literally his whole fucking branding. And all of his followers eat this shit up. Yeah, blacks are so degenerate. Black culture is so degenerate. But the reason they are goggling this nigga's dick 24/7 is because he's fucking bitches. Right, he's painting this image as a rich guy that fucks bitches and is into shit like MMA and guns. I swear to you, bro. I swear to you, bro. Look at this smile on his face. He knows he just caught this nigga. He knows he caught this nigga. Andrew Tate is easy to catch, nigga. In an actual conversation with somebody who fucking isn't trying to suck this nigga's meat. He's easy to catch in bare contradictions the whole conversation, nigga. But that's how he keeps himself fucking on top in the eyes of his brain dead followers. Is he doesn't do interviews or have conversations with anybody that isn't trying to glaze him.
So if that's the culture that the black society is going to promote, if that's what the music is going to push, if that's what's seen as the end goal of success in the black community, becoming a rapper, becoming famous, having a bunch of whores, fucking a bunch of whores, being feared, having guns, being a gangster, being a criminal, if all of this is what they're pushing and they're saying this is the end goal of success, and then someone gets there and does it, and then we say, he was threatening women and he was waving a gun around and he was fucking loads of women. So what I'm saying is, it's very hypocritical.
So what do black people have to do with that?
This society we live in now, where we push people in a certain direction, and then as soon as they end up exactly where they're headed, we have a go at them for it and pretend they shouldn't
This
be.
nigga act like it's black dudes who like rap music that are making his life a living hell. Bro, the people that are putting you in prison aren't black. The people that are putting you in prison are white. They don't know who. They can't sing a single Lil Wayne song to save their life. What are you talking about? So how did black people get? But again, his whole audience, that's also another subset of his audience. Racist people who hate black people and Jews and just they cry on Twitter all day about race mixing and fucking all of that shit. That's his fan base. And so he got to service them too. So he got to shit on black culture for no reason, completely irrelevant to this conversation, just to do it.
There. It is absolutely false to declare that women are not being sexualized. Women are told to be promiscuous now.
Didn't say he was wrong, though. He is 100% wrong, nigga. There are black people who don't listen to rap music at all. That is not black culture. You're the fucking racist that wants to make a black guy who does. Oh, okay. So school, that's white culture. That's your logic. If you can find a black person that likes rap music, that now means all black people are that. And we can separate art from reality, just like how you can go and play Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto and spend all day killing people and having sex with hookers in a video game. That does not mean that that is a reflection of your values on how you believe you should operate in life and treat people. And so, yeah, as a black person who thoroughly enjoys black music, and I mean, you know, rap, all kinds of rap music too, fucking drill shit, shoot 'em up, music about drugs, music about fucking mad bitches. Nigga, for the same reason I can go and watch a movie where, you know, I can go and watch The Joker and root for The Joker and then go into the real world and think that murder is bad. But it's just you're a fucking racist that you gotta make black entertainment into something that we don't do for any other culture. You as a white person, you can make a movie about murdering people. You can make a video game about murdering people and all of that shit. But somehow that's not a reflection of white culture. You're just racist, bro. Like all his other, like his fans, like him. You're just a fucking racist that wants a reason to shit on black people because your life is sad and sorry. And you need to hate on people to feel better about yourself because you have no internal power and you can't actually accomplish shit in your own life. You don't fuck bitches, you don't make money, and so you gotta hate on somebody to lift yourself up. And black people, for the longest time, have been one of those, you know what I'm saying, punching bags.
Sexual now.
Yeah.
So when a woman ends up promiscuous and sexually liberated, who are we to sit and say, I can't believe this has happened? It's completely asinine. It's a double standard. It's a false dichotomy. And it's amazing to me that we live in this world. If you're going to have black rap music push people to be in big mansions with a bunch of whores fucking them, taking drugs and waving guns around, don't be surprised when black people do it. And don't be surprised when women end up as whores when we're telling women to be whores. If you want women to do something else, then tell them to do something else. Again,
completely ignoring the fact that go to literally any Rolling Loud, bro, you go to the Coachella, you go to all of these, the biggest concerts where black artists or rappers are performing, at least half the audience is white. Most of the time, the majority of the audience is white. You feel me? Black people aren't getting multi-million-dollar record deals just off of black listeners. It's white people listening to this shit too. But there's no concern about white people fucking listening to rap music and then going off and doing that shit. Yeah. All right. I don't know if I can even finish this shit, man. This nigga is just he's just saying so much stupid shit.
I don't know why we're surprised by it. The thing that's unsettling in all of this is still the role of the average man who's expected to get far less in terms of loyalty and quality and standard from a woman than he's ever had and pay a far higher price. Our grandfathers got a woman. He didn't have to be rich. He didn't have to even be famous. He didn't have to be successful. He just had to be a man and do the most basic things. And she loved him and he loved her and they had a happy relationship. Our grandfathers got a woman for fuck all. Now, to get a woman who cares about you, you need to be one of the most famous, rich, well-known, drive a Lambo, this, X, Y, Z. The average man's fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
And
that's how you know this nigga had no game. That's how you know he been, taking pussy by force. This nigga don't know. He has no experience actually getting a woman to love him and be loyal to him when he was broke. That's all he just admitted to me.
The role of men.
That's all he just admitted. He has no experience getting a woman that he finds attractive, that is loyal to him and devout to him from before when he had money. That's why he thinks like this. That's why he talks like this. This nigga's a trick. He only knows how to pull bitches because he's rich.
And in all of this is completely forgotten because nobody gives a shit about men. We're hypersexualizing women. And
that's why he has such a bad view of women, because all the women that he does fuck with are gold diggers. That's the only kind of women he can pull. He has no experience pulling an attractive woman when he was broke.
Be honest. Bonnie is smart enough to monetize her own content. But most women who are promiscuous are not smart enough to monetize.
But isn't Bonnie part of the problem then?
Bonnie is a symptom of society. I don't want to say of the disease of society. I could, but she's a symptom. She's the end result of the society we have built, which is why it's hypocritical.
Which you think is degrading.
I'm living the best I can in the world that's already been built. I don't give a shit about changing the world. The
She's
world
not here
has
to change
given me the opportunity to do what I do and monetize from it. I'm going to do that.
You said you thought you were a positive role model.
No, but Rob.
Well, I am positive because you think of the day I fucked 1,000 men. If you was a rapist, would you go and find someone else? No, I've shared my location. Come and fuck me. Like, I'm reducing rape rates because when you have sex workers that are available and guys want to have sex, they want to breed, they want to fuck. And if they can't find a girlfriend or they can't afford to pay for one, because
this is also bullshit. The idea that all rapists are simple cells, that's not true at all. You know what I'm saying?
It's nowadays can be.
For a lot of dudes who end up doing that shit, it's about power. It's power hungry, power obsessed people that like to dominate and have people completely submit, you know, with or without consent.
Expensive.
That's who does the most of that shit, I think.
All these women are doing the same shit. But Bonnie's open about it. Bonnie's honest about it. If you want to be with Bonnie, and Bonnie, you were married, I believe, or you had a boyfriend.
Yeah, I'm still going through a divorce.
Okay, yeah. If you want to be with Bonnie, you know what you're getting. That's your decision. That's your prerogative. That's honest. That's great. Most of these men out here are married to women just the same as Bonnie. They don't even fucking know it. And if you told them, they'd deny it. If I open my Instagram now and see one of my exes getting married,
I miss subs.
I message her husband now on Instagram saying, she's a hoe, XYZ, he'll defend her. No, she ain't. You're a rapist. Go fucking retard. So most of these women out here are the same shit anyway. I absolutely love.
Hey, Ashton, thank you, bro. Thank you for the 5 gifted, gang. I appreciate you. And thank you, Count Knight, for the gifted. Guys, we going up.
People, you know what I love, Rob? Karmic retribution. I love, you know when you see a man play with fire, then he gets burnt? And you're like, shouldn't have been playing with fire. I love it. We said women, let them do whatever they want. I was sitting there years ago saying, no, guys, no. We need to have children. I tried my best. They tried to put me in jail. Did women try and put me in jail? Well, yes, but who really tried to put me in jail? Men. Men tried to put me in jail. It's a male judge, male police officers dragging me in and out the cell, men locking me in the room, men defending these women who lie. Men want me in jail for trying to protect society. But this is the world they wanted. I hope we have more Bonnie Blues. I hope everyone.
Hey, shout out to Out of Line with another 5 gifted, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Hey, let me do this real quick. Bam. Okay, we got that. And we are back. Thank you, bro. Out of Line. Amazing.
Woman just fucks everything, and I hope all of society burns. I've given up.
Yeah.
This is what they wanted, so let's give them what they wanted. Do it.
How would God judge Bonnie Blue?
Well,
if Andrew Tate actually had something he stood on, he wouldn't compromise what he stands on, because it's not like things have changed. This is the world Andrew Tate came into. All he's trying to do is pivot and move towards being more reasonable in his rhetoric, because he knows this is how you know he's worried about the outcome of the trials, because he's switching up his position, but he's trying to mask it in, oh, well, I tried my best. I tried to save the world and it didn't work. I didn't completely change all of culture in 2 years of being popular on the internet, so fuck it. Let's let all the women be whores. No, all you see, he's trying to move away, but he don't want to seem like he switched too hard on his fans. So that's how he's trying to package this shit. Like, oh, I give up. I tried my best and I couldn't save the world. And so, fuck it. Let's let everybody do it. Nigga, they was already doing that before you came in and started crying about shit. And so if you really believe that shit, ain't nothing changed. You should still be crying about that shit. But you're not, because you're about to get packed up. So you're scared and you're trying to clean up your rhetoric, hoping that will help you not go to prison. But you're cooked, nigga. You can't stop it. It's over. But hey, shout out to It's Zo Now with the 5 gifted. Thank you. Perfect. I appreciate you.
God existed.
Arguing about God and whether he exists or not is a completely different topic. But
he atheist
again
again
now?
now?
The holy books have a whole bunch of lessons to be learned.
And
I would argue that
he's not even Muslim no more, for sure.
The primary objectives of
he was never Muslim. I don't even know why Muslims went for that.
All religions, since the dawn of time, has been trying to protect society from female sexuality, because female sexuality is unchecked, unlike male sexuality. Female sexuality, if it goes unchecked, results in some degree of chaos. All religions are telling women not to be overly sexual for a reason, because they know how society...
Look how he can't put any of the onus on men for fucking the bitches, huh? What happened to self-control and discipline? Isn't that the hallmark of manhood and masculinity?
The end. That's why I said earlier we're in the end times. So how would God judge Bonnie? I don't know. Would he judge her? Or would he judge the society which created her? I'm not sure. But a society of absolute promiscuity leads to a whole bunch of problems that come later down the line, because men lose vested interest in the society with the promiscuity. If there's a kid that exists, and I'm sure he's mine, I have a vested interest. But if that woman's promiscuous and I'm not 100% sure that child is mine or not, then I have a less of a vested interest. And yeah, there's DNA tests and there's certain things. But before modern science, there was none of that. The only thing that gave me a vested interest in the child or the woman was the fact that my paternity was secured and it was guaranteed. And it was guaranteed through sexual exclusivity, which is why we've tried very hard to counter promiscuity for so long. Because men lose all interest in family, by extension, all interest in society, when we do not have guaranteed paternity. But once again, who am I to tell society how to be? Because every single time I do, men try and put me in jail. You know?
Nigga, that's not what's on the fucking court documents.
The enemy of the world are not women or whores or the good girls or the bad girls, anything. The enemy of the world are the simps.
Hey, as Hitler said, and I know this nigga loves Hitler, you know, if you tell a lie long enough and loud enough, niggas will believe it.
It's simps that did all this shit. It's simpy ass men who listen to women's opinions who did all of this crap. And here we are. Simps did it.
I think it was Hitler that said that shit.
Simps are the most dangerous men on the fucking planet. Simps are going to sit there and, like what I said earlier, if I message one of the guys who's marrying one of my exes now, he's going to simp over her, tell her how much he loves her, and pretend I'm the bad guy.
Oh, no, it was actually attributed to Joseph. I think his name is, I don't even know how to say his last name. But he was like Hitler's right-hand guy.
For doing what? Sleeping with his wife when she wanted it? Simps are the enemy of the society, and simps have built all of this shit.
And a lot of them simps, I guess, are going to sleep with Bonnie, aren't they?
Well, they're all in love with her, and I don't blame them, because they're fucking losers. No disrespect.
No, yeah, see, I don't find him as losers. Before I
Oh, it was his favorite quote? That was Hitler's favorite quote. Interesting. It got something to do with them niggas.
Like, before I spent hours and hours chatting to him and stuff, I think that's weird, or why have they requested that? But you know what? I'm saying not.
So you used to judge the men you slept with?
Until I actually educated myself on it. Yeah, and that's like most things. You judge things until you educate yourself.
And what have you learned about men sleeping with thousands of them?
That a lot of the time it's the women's fault. It's the women's fault. It's why they're in my queue. If they just sucked them off that day, the balls would have been drained and they wouldn't have come and given me a facial. The balls wasn't drained, therefore they was in my queue. And a lot of these men, it's not because they don't love their family, don't love their wife and their kids. That's one thing. Having sex is separate.
True.
And also a lot of these men, it's just sex to them.
True.
They're not asking for an emotional connection. And a lot of them, sometimes you just feel lonely because the world...
I think that's bullshit. Because if it was just a nigga trying to drain his balls, he would just jerk off. Nah, there's something else going on when a man cheats on his wife. He ain't just trying to get a nut off, because why not just go, you know what I'm saying, take care of that shit yourself and preserve your marriage and not expose yourself to any potential financial loss, STDs, unwanted children. You don't got to spend money. You don't have to go out of your way. So when a man cheats on a woman, it ain't just about trying to get a nut off. Now, I agree that a man can and oftentimes will cheat on his wife with a woman that he don't give a fuck about. I'm not saying it's also for an emotional connection. I think they're men cheat for different reasons, but just oversimplifying it to, oh, the reason he came and slept with this internet prostitute was because his wife didn't give him head that day. I think I disagree with that.
World lets them down in loads of ways. They're made to work, they're made to provide, they're made to look after the kids, still empty the dishes. Like, they're made to do so much, and they feel lonely. They can't go and say to their wife, you know what, work was hard today. She'll bite back and say, oh, the kids kept me up, this happened, and they dropped their yogurt on the floor. They've always got something to complain about, whereas I'm not that. I'm not like every other woman. They get to come to me and I'll listen to them, and I will cater to their fetish. As long as it's within my boundaries, I will do that for them. Because I'm like, I want to do that. I want to help you. I want to make your day a bit better because your wife isn't doing that. So I want to do that. So I don't find them weird. Like, before, some of their requests, I'd be thinking, fuck me, like, where did you think of that? That's a bit weird, or that's odd. How are you getting off to that? And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to judge them. I don't know what they're going through to a certain degree. If I can make their day a bit better, I want to do that because I'm a good person.
Would you not say, though, Andrew, that's a weak man that's going to Bonnie?
I think men take what they can get. And I think that it is the masculine imperative to take what they can get. Like, once again, I try not to be a hypocrite. I try very hard to be very fair with all of my views. So let me answer myself. If I was walking down the street and a beautiful woman come up to me and said, get me pregnant, no strings attached, I'd be like, all right, safe. I'll take it. Why not? I'll take what you can get, right? The men who are going to Bonnie perhaps do not have the options I have. But then, like me, if I go to Saint-Tropez, Monaco, Dubai, the most beautiful women in the world are begging for me all day, every day. When I go to Dubai, all the women that you men are Instagramming, and she's ignoring you, is chasing me because I've got the money and the status, which is what they want. But then I'm ignoring them because I can't be asked with the rape charge. So it's the circle of life. Do I blame men for taking what they can get? No. If there's a group of men around, there's a whole bunch of jizz, they should be too straight to pull that off. But one-on-one, if they can handle the time vortex, if they can get, a calculator and work it out, it is what it is. Sex used to result in children. That was the point of sex. And now we have the capability of having sex without children, which is a relatively new experiment. And this also happens with homosexuality, with gay people, why they keep doing more and more deprived things, because sex gets boring after a while. It's like drugs, right? You take a little.
Ah, yes. Gotta come for the gays now. You know what I'm saying? We've come for women. We've come for the blacks. All that's left are the gays and the Jews. Now we've got the gays on the bingo card. You know what I'm saying? The bigot bingo card. What's left? We got the Jews and who else?
Bit, and then you need more, and you need more for more excitement all of the time. So where the hole ends, I don't know. Maybe a lot of this is down to porn addictions or those kind of things. I'll be here and I'll state completely honestly, and I say this before God and before the cameras, I don't watch porn. I haven't watched a porn clip in 20 years. I don't watch porn. Really, I don't need to watch porn.
You didn't see what your employees were doing?
Porn. I can barely get through my roster as it is. I ain't got time to be watching porn. I don't watch porn. I don't jerk off. I don't do any of that. I have too many females to service. I'm already behind. Like, I've got to hurry up on this podcast. Like, I got shit to do. So I don't do any of that stuff. But if you're jerking off the porn all day, every day, perhaps you're always trying to find something new to excite you. That's why you end up looking at midgets and fucking whatever. And then perhaps the depravity is the exciting part of it, like drugs or like anything else. But this is just an end result of having sex without the primary objective of having children, because that should be the result of sex, is children. We've removed that now. So the point of sex is pleasure. But we all know that pleasure gets old and you have to constantly up the game and up the ante. I don't know. Do I blame the men for taking the free pussy when they have no other pussy on the table? Absolutely not. I don't blame them. Do I blame Bonnie for making a whole bunch of money off it? No. If I was unhappy with that exchange, would my problem be with Bonnie or the men? No. My problem would be with society as a whole.
Oh, right.
If I believed that was wrong, perhaps I would have been online years ago trying to stop society heading down this direction. But if a whole bunch of men fought against me, turned up and raided my house with guns and waved MP5s.
You were online years ago, nigga. Dry snitching on yourself when you weren't famous and you didn't think that shit would come around to bite you. You were online years ago, nigga.
My face, saying that I'm a bad person for trying to protect
Why
society.
would you be online railing against pornography? That was how you was making your money.
what I believe society should function as, then I'd understand that men want this. So who am I to say otherwise? This is what men and women want. I'm just a fucking guy. I'm just a dude. This is the Western world we've built. We've built a Western world where men are just tax slaves and women are the most important things on the planet who can do whatever they fucking want, and they're always permanent victims / always permanently right, and they're girl bosses and we're dumbasses and we just have to build the roads and build the buildings and die in ditches, and this is all a woman's world and it's a matriarchy. So if that's the world we live in, let women do whatever the fuck they want. Cool. And the government can raise the kids. And this is the new society we've built, the new utopia. Fantastic.
Do you think Andrew's a good role model?
It depends which way you're looking at it. But yeah, everything he says.
Well, how would you look at it?
Well, yeah, I guess. I think he is. I've heard clips before where you spoke about rape, and I think, God, I couldn't disagree more. But it's because I've looked at it out of context. Then when I've actually listened to the podcast and it's put in context, I'm like, he is completely right. So
she's just trying to get some of his. She knows what his followers look like for the most part. And she's like, I can rake in some money. I can't disrespect this man.
There's not many things apart from him saying people are gay I disagree with. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, that is true. It's factual. A lot of the time, we're not talking opinions. We're talking facts. Near enough everything we've spoken about today, when you talk about the past, the future, how it is, it's factual. You look on the news, everything we're saying is true. We're not here just saying, oh my God, I think this is vile. We're saying it's vile. Here's the stats. Here's the statistics to it. So you can disagree with it. We're not saying everything we agree with, but we're giving you the facts. You can't cry about that.
Right. How do you think people are going to take you being on this show with Bonnie Blue?
I don't know. I don't really know.
It's actually nice not being the most hated person in the room for a change.
Well, I'm sure, yeah. And I think I'd be uncomfortable and unfamiliar with not being the most hated person in the room. But I don't really give a fuck how people take it, to be honest. I think people will understand that, it's entertaining. I think that this conversation's been very interesting. I don't know if people expected me to have a go at Bonnie.
All people who say they relish being hated, these are just people who don't know how to receive love. You know what I'm saying? People who don't know how to get love from the masses will settle for receiving hate. But nobody wants to be hated. And you know that because all these people spend half the time talking, bitching about the fact that people hate on them. If they loved it so much, why are they constantly complaining about these people are against me and these people don't like what I say? And it's because it bothers them. But they don't know. And these people also love to hate on people who have mad love. You know what I'm saying?
Or try and tell her what she's doing is wrong.
I've been called the female version of Andrew Tate for a long time now. And I think just because I say women are lazy, they are poorly educated, they're not servicing their guy. And if you're not servicing your guy, he's going to go and cheat. And everyone's like, you basically sound like Andrew Tate. But it's like, I'm talking from experience. They're talking from fuck all experience. And I'm saying, hey, these are the facts. I've slept with over 1,000 people and this is my experience.
But if you want a really intellectual conversation, if you want to really actually analyze society by and large, this false bullshit of male sexual exclusivity is actually creating most of the problems in the world today. When we say to women that a man should be loyal to only her, that's what's creating all of the divorces, all of the breakups, all of the women who run from man to man to man to man trying to find a loyal one. None of them are ever loyal. So then they end up just chasing the bag and chasing money and end up being sex workers, which is fine. But all of this comes from this bullshit idea that men have ever been sexually exclusive. Men have never been sexually exclusive. Women were to guarantee paternity. Men, since the dawn of time, every king, every sultan have had harems. They have had concubines. Every single man who could did. The men
which was always a very, very tiny portion of the population. What percentage of the population do you think are kings in any ancient civilization? 0.00001%, nigga. It was one nigga. It was only one king per fucking dynasty. What is this guy on about? Thanks, baby.
Say they wouldn't and say they don't want it because they can't. It's like a broke man saying he wouldn't.
See that? I get my wife to just come and cook for me and hand me food without having to be some kind of dominating, controlling person that has to have his foot on his girl's neck or be rich as fuck and constantly buying her expensive shit. My wife just does it because she loves me. Andrew Tate don't know what that's like. The only way he gets compliance is through fear and bribery.
Drive a Ferrari. No one gives a fuck what you think because you're poor. Yeah. If you're actually important and you can have a harem, you have a harem. They always have. So now we have this weird society where men are out here trying very hard to compete in the sexual marketplace, to become as important and rich and successful and well-known as possible because it's so hard to get a woman. When they finally pull that off, women are chasing him because women only want the top 1% of men. And then when a woman gets with him, she tells him, you can only be with me and no one else. And then he's like, okay, well, you've been with a whole bunch of men before me. You're not even a fucking virgin. You don't even listen to me. You don't shut up when I tell you to. So why the fuck am I going to only be with you? I'll be with 10 women just like you. You all have big mouths. So if I'll just be with all of you. And then she's like, oh my God, he cheated. And then she'll run away and just do the same thing again with another guy. And before you know it, after 20 dicks, she sits there and goes, why am I fucking for free? Let me just get paid out of this. So then she says, all right, she either becomes a sex worker honestly or becomes a sex worker dishonestly via rape charges and rape claims. That's what they do. If you're a woman who makes a rape claim against a man and you have an OnlyFans, you literally use sex to make money. And you literally lie to men pretending to like them. And now you're doing the same thing in a courtroom. The court has become OnlyFans. The court's OnlyFans now. Nothing's different. A woman just gets...
You ever notice how most men don't have to cry about rape? You know what I'm saying? More than likely, your father has never even thought about this shit. It's crazy how most men can just go through life and rape not be like something they got to worry about, like a rape charge or some shit like that. Not saying that there aren't guys who get falsely accused, but this nigga right here just constantly trying to clean up.
Gets her pussy and gets her tears or gets her lies, and she uses the court system to make money as opposed to using the OnlyFans platform. What's the difference?
I think
so you
probably
have
a lot of
honest and
women-
dishonest sex workers. And all of this comes from the fact that we don't have a society where you say, a man at that stature is going to have 4 or 5 wives. Get over it. Life would be a lot simpler if we could. If women weren't brainwashed into believing they need a loyal man. A man is loyal to you when he puts up with you, protects you, and provides for you. If a man's paying your bills and will stop you getting attacked on the street and puts up with your emotions, that's loyal. Don't worry about where his dick goes. That's loyalty. He's shown you loyalty. And he can put his dick wherever he wants. That's actually loyalty.
What do you think about that?
See, I'm very different though, because I'm the one that does the income. They probably won't be working it, but the other way around, because women also want things to be different. So like, I'm not saying I agree with that. Like, I think if I was with a guy, they probably wouldn't work. I'd be the one to be in control, and I'd be the one fucking loads of other guys, and they'd be loyal to me. Things are different.
Yeah, she'd be bossing it because she has the money. She's doing the protection and provision because she's got the cash. But what I'm saying is, the happiest women, let's look, and this is cultural. Like if you go to Russia and you meet a billionaire, you think he has one wife. I mean, he has his wife, of course, and he has his fucking girlfriend. And his wife just keeps her eyes closed and doesn't care. And he gets to enjoy his girlfriends and his wife gets to drive a G-Wagon and everyone's happy. It's only in the West where she'll be like, I can't believe he wants to talk to another girl. It's stupid. And then women end up leaving men they love because he cheated and then getting cheated on by a man they don't love. It's dumb. And it's just over and over and over again until they end up as sluts or old and used to the point where they can't get the quality of man they want.
This nigga
then they're
is
sitting
such
around
a...
36.
Bro. I feel bad for the people who listen to this nigga, man.
I can't find a man who's... I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy. Because the guys you like are with 22-year-olds, my dear. And you had a guy who loved you and you fucked it up because you cried over him cheating like an idiot. Women, find a man you love. Let him cheat. Just tell him to only come home to you and only love you. Let him do what he has to do. Don't stress him too much. Have some fucking kids. Drive a Bentley. That fixes society. But of course, if I say that, I'm a misogynist. I'm the worst man in the world. I deserve to go to jail.
If you said to that girl, go and work, go and earn your own money, go and do this, they don't want to do that either. So you've got to pick and choose. Like
when you tell women to go earn their own money.
How does this work for people who are in a 2-income household? How does this advice even apply to them? This thing is like, yeah, just buy your wife a Bentley and she should shut the fuck up. Nigga, what percentage of the population you think can buy Bentleys, bro?
Money. One way or another, it ends up being sex work. You tell me you don't see these female fucking estate agents, whatever, in their little girl suit and their makeup and all pretty. Have you ever seen like one of these successful girl boss estate agents who's obese? I'm asking.
I haven't seen an obese female estate agent, no.
Have you seen obese women achieve anything financially? Or are there, because if you say no, then you're saying the women are judged on how they look. So all version of female work is sex work. That's the question. Can women do anything without being judged on the one thing they have, which is their sexuality?
I think
Can women
I think
do
you can be an
anything?
obese comedian and make money.
Women
Yeah,
are
but then you'd be making jokes about the fact you're fat.
Yeah,
That's
and women
why
are
I find you funny.
Let's be honest, women aren't funny.
Aren't funny, did you say?
Of course not.
I think I've made you smile a few times.
Yeah, you've made me smile because I've been impressed by your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
I've been impressed by how correctly you see society. But I think by and large, female
This nigga easy to impress. Disagree with him.
comedians aren't really funny because humor is a masculine mating tactic. We have to make women laugh for them to like us, whereas women don't have to make us laugh. They have to be hot. Men fall in love with what they see. Women fall in love with what they hear,
Yeah.
which is why women wear makeup. So we see something we like. And that's why men lie. So they hear something they like. Men lie. Every man on a date is a gangster and he's rich. You go, any girl go on a date with any guy. Women watching this, I know you've been on a date with some guy recently. He's got a few tattoos. He's got a sleeve and he's a gangster. He's a criminal and he's got all this money. And da-da. He's a fucking jackass. He's got like $6,000 in the bank and a rented car on finance. But he's just lying. He's trying to pretend he's the G and, you know, you're going to fall for it. You're going to suck his dick. And then you're not even going to get paid out at the end of it. And then you're going to realize he's a loser and you're going to go get another boyfriend. So you were just sex working for free like a fucking idiot. You just got tricked. You can't trick Bonnie. Bonnie gets paid. You can't trick Bonnie. Bonnie gets her money at the end. You're
Again, guys, just to hit this from a spiritual angle, this is perfect evidence that your reality is shaped by your beliefs. What world is Andrew Tate living in, nigga? Is that how you got your chick? By pretending you were a criminal or a millionaire? But the world he lives in, which of course is shaped by his beliefs, those are the only people that exist. Men who are trying to pose as criminals and gangsters and rich people trying to secure pussy from bitches that are into that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Russian escorts type shit. Andrew Tate is so disconnected and out of touch with the real world, bro.
dumbass. You're sucking dick for free. Like a fucking retard. So this is the world we live in now. So women are always judged on how they look, no matter what they do. Because to true biology, men are trying to find attractive women who can give them children, which is why we're attracted to women who are younger because they're more likely to get pregnant. That's why attraction in and of itself, what is attraction? Attraction is health. When you look at a woman who looks healthy or has good genetics, because she'll give you strong offspring, that's what attraction even is. So women are always going to use their attraction. Once a woman's obese and ugly, then she starts walking down the street screaming about fucking a bunch of garbage because she knows she can't compete in the true market of sexual dynamics, which is men have power and women have attraction. That's how it works. So I just think it's completely hypocritical for us as a Western society. I think it's absolutely insane to have any kind of opinions on sex work or Bonnie or anything else when women are using their sex nonstop all the time. How is having an Instagram page and being an influencer and doing TikTok dances with massive silicone tits and doing this, then fucking getting millions of views and unlimited money for fucking dancing around with a shit dance? It's not even good. Not sex work. How is that not sex work? How is Instagram not sex work?
You're uploading your best photos. You want people to find you attractive.
You're
using your
filtering.
appeal.
Instagram is a dating app.
So that means Andrew Tate's a sex worker. If the idea of using your sexuality to any degree to garner success makes you a sex worker, then Andrew Tate's a sex worker because this nigga can't keep a shirt on. And to make it worse, he a gay sex worker because he's trying to use his physique to appeal not to women, it's niggas. He trying to impress fucking, you know, with all the nunchucks and the martial arts and the shirtless and the benching, you know, 215 or whatever the fuck, 315. That's all to impress niggas. He trying to get little 16-year-old boys to sign up to his Hustler University. So he not only a sex worker, he a gay sex worker at that.
App. Women shouldn't be, if you're onto Instagram, you're looking for male attention. You're uploading your best pictures with filters. You got your fucking tits out in every photo. You're shaking your ass in every photo. All these fucking Instagram reels, all of TikTok, all of this shit. Look at any of the famous women. How is all of it not sex work? You're advertising sex or you're making people want to fuck you for attention or money. It's all sex work. So we as a society say, yeah, an 18-year-old girl can get massive silicones and dance around on TikTok and get millions and millions of viewers, but she's an influencer. No, she is a sex object.
Yeah.
That's all she is.
They're the ones that walk down the street. That's what pisses me off. They walk down the street and then they cry that a guy's wolf whistled them. They crying that a guy's looked at their tits, that your tits are hanging out. I actually don't wear revealing clothing as such. I stay covered up. I don't feel like the need to show my tits. People can just see it, in person for free when I want to get naked. But I don't walk around looking like a slut like most of these other people do. Yeah, I am a slut. But they walk around crying about the fact people call them sluts. And it's like, look at you.
Same in the gym.
Look in the mirror.
Same in the gym. They wear those tight gym clothes and complain that people are looking at them.
They're videoing themselves bending over going, oh my God, look at that guy.
So it's anti-sex work. So they do sex work and then complain they're being seen as sexual objects.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, Rob? You know what I'm saying is true. I understand you don't want to go to jail, so you have to be careful how you reply. I understand, sir.
I'm just doing my job here.
You're just
no, that's not why you're going to jail, Andrew. Come on, stop it.
commentator.
Andrew, if you go to jail, I'll identify as a guy, so we can go in together.
All right, thank you.
Top and tail. I mean, you can be in me if you want. I just thought, we'll keep that bit of secret.
Bonnie, we're friends. You're my only female friend.
Friends with benefits.
No benefits. I've never had a female friend in my life. I really don't have any female friends. I don't have a single female friend because I don't really talk to women unless
I just don't really like women.
They don't really have much I want to hear to say. So
when women talk a lot of the time, I'm there just smiling thinking, you're so irrelevant. And then
I don't got any chick friends, so.
Best way possible. The things you're saying, they aren't funny. Like, I think I am funny, but when they speak, I'm like,
I think most dudes don't have any female friends, bro. I'll be real with you. Like, we got females you might be friendly with, co-worker, a church sister, a mutual friend. You're friendly with them, but they're not your homies, They're not you're not hitting them up when you need money or you need someone to come pick you up at 2 a.m. You feel me? They're not really your friend like that. I think that's most dudes.
You're really not funny. I'm having to laugh at this joke to be polite. I'm having to pretend you're interesting out of politeness. I'll have to pretend your stresses at work are relevant, but they're not. You just work for someone else who works for someone else. Like, when I listen to other women talk, I'm like, you're boring me. It's not entertaining. And I can't listen to your issues because they're not issues. They're just, I don't know, just pathetic excuses.
So, Rob, let me ask you a question, sir. We have to make a decision. We are headed down the road we are traveling. Do we do an absolute 180 reversal of society and go back to traditional men in charge, patriarchal society where women have to obey their fathers and obey their future husbands, where they have to get married young, have children? Or do we continue down the path where every single woman decides to make as much money as possible using her sexuality like Bonnie does? These are the two options. They're the only options that exist. There is no in between. There is no smart answer. There is no Aikido. There is A or B. Rob, do you want to remove the female vote, or do you want your daughters and every other woman you know to end up like Bonnie Blue? Which one?
Well, I think both roads end
No,
the same
don't
way.
try and Aikido it, Rob.
But both end the same way.
Which is what?
Both end up back with patriarchy running society. When, what is it? Weak men
create hard times. Hard times create strong men, and strong men create good times, and good times create weak men.
And that is the cycle.
Absolutely.
And society is weak right now. And if you don't have strong leadership, you have government that starts to lead. And when government starts to lead and becomes too bloated and takes from society, in the end, society rebel. Even people who voted hardcore Labour, and even people in Labour will turn on Labour soon enough.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
But
I think things are going to get far more interesting before that happens.
Well, revolution. That's the only way you reset.
Silver has crashed. It's back to its price in 1974.
And what I'm saying is, the society we have built has encouraged women to be as promiscuous, as rebelling, as open, as sexual, and to get as much money as possible. And Bonnie has just played the game the best and won the game. The game is chess. She's a grandmaster at it. You can't complain about the grandmaster. You have to complain about the game of chess. So it's completely asinine for anybody to ever give Bonnie a hard time about anything she's doing ever, when in fact she's just the best at the game that's currently being played, because 99% of women are trying to do the same thing as her, which is use their pussy to get some money.
And that doesn't bother you hearing that?
No, it's factual. It's the truth. So why could I be offended? If you're offended by something that's factual, then change it. If I was offended by calling a prostitute and slut slag, then I should change that. But how can I sit there and say I'm ever offended by anyone telling me that what's the truth?
And Rob, and I want to make something clear. I really do try and ground myself in absolute logic in all ways. And that's why I'm extremely hard on myself. I've said to you in previous podcasts that what happened to me about jail and all this shit, it was me. I take absolute responsibility for everything that's ever happened to me. I'm not a person who blames anyone else. Considering women just want status and money, don't think I haven't thunk about the fact about the women who say they love me. I'm not dumb. I love you so much. I love you. I love you. Of course. I love that you're attractive. I love that you're attractive and you do as I say. And you love that I'm very famous and very rich and I give you a lifestyle.
Hey, shout out to 2X. He says, nigga, every time I come on, your viewers keep doubling. Well, manifestation isn't real, guys. Don's delusional. Okay. Well, hey, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, we going up. You know what I'm saying? Hop on the team now. Pause. So they don't call you a bandwagonist later. You feel me?
Now, you say you'd love me if I didn't give you the lifestyle, but if I didn't give you the lifestyle, how would I even be me? How am I me with no money? How am I me with no status? How am I me with no power? Who am I then? I'm a different person. So I know you're with me because you get things, and I'm with you because I get things. It's transactional. All relationships are transactional. This podcast is a transaction. This is how things work. So I'm not stupid enough to believe the women who say they love me. Even though they say they love me, and even though they mean it when they say it, they're not smart enough to analyze that they are doing a transaction. Because they don't think of it that way. They just feel love. Oh, I love you so much. Oh, you love me so much. We're just cruising in the Lambo and we're just in, oh, you just all of a sudden you say you love me. They don't even realize what they're doing. I do. I understand the world very well.
But isn't love a human need?
Love is a transaction.
It's a human need.
Women love who protect and provide for them, whether they're the French soldier or the German soldier, sir. Women love when they get what they want. That's it.
You need
So there's no loyalty. Loyalty doesn't exist.
Loyalty, what I'm trying to say here, and
everybody loves when they get what they want. Right? Don't guys also like it when they get what they want?
Any man who's been to divorce or had problems with women will agree with me and understand exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's not strange that women are inclined to love men that provide, you know what I'm saying, that give them what they want. And we love women that give us what we want. That's the perfect situation. When a man and a woman get what they want from the other person, that's called a relationship. That's called a great relationship. Try it out sometime.
Women are loyal to how they feel. If you make them feel a certain way, then they're loyal to that feeling, which is loyal to you. Women aren't loyal to anything outside of how they feel. Men actually are more loyal than women because men, like I said, can suffer gracefully. Women can't. Men will be loyal to a society. Men will be loyal to a race. Men will be loyal to their friends. Women can't even get along for 5 minutes amongst themselves. Men will be best friends for 50 years. Men are loyal. We know loyalty completely. We'll go die in a ditch for a flag. You want to talk about loyalty? Men are loyal. Women aren't loyal. Women are, how do I feel today? You can take a woman on a private jet to a mansion in Miami and have the best time. She'll tell you how much she loves you. And then the next day when she's mad at you, she will literally say verbatim, you never give me anything. You don't take care of me. You reject me. I'm not looked after. She'll forget 12 hours before where she had the world. Because women are only care about how they feel.
Projecting.
They don't even think. They just feel. And what
this nigga has never actually had a bitch that loved him is what I'm hearing. Andrew Tate has only paid for pussy. This nigga has only bought pussy. Directly or indirectly. He's never actually just had a girl that likes him.
They feel is absolute gospel.
Because who could? This nigga is so unlikable. This nigga is a narcissistic, delusional fucking asshole. Who could ever like a guy like this?
Truth.
And he's so fearful. He has to control everybody in his life because he's so afraid. He doesn't think there's such a thing as a loyal woman. He probably doesn't even think there's such a thing as a loyal man, to be real with you.
Matters more than society, matters more than everything else. Why are the white women of Britain not waking up saying...
This is really just trauma from his childhood, I think. Growing up with divorced parents.
Our population's
or being separated parents.
Replaced. Our grandfathers died for this island. We need to have as many white children as possible before this becomes a caliphate. Why don't we protect the race of British people who only have this land, and when this land is gone, there's nowhere else to go. We need to find white husbands and have Christian children now. Why? Because they don't feel like it. They don't give a shit about World War II. They don't give a shit their grandfathers died. They don't give a fuck about England. They don't give a fuck about anything.
All of the world's most major wars within the last 200 years have been fueled by white fucking anger. What are you talking about, guy? More white people don't equal less war. Have you seen the pictures from World War I and II, nigga? It's dumb but white people in that shit.
Because they only care about how they feel. Whereas a man might sit and say,
but
you know,
blacks, we have the violent culture.
What? Yeah, I'm going to suffer for the greater good of my race, my nation, my ideals. So men are loyal, but women aren't.
What do you think about that, Bonnie?
I think it really depends. Like, for example, if I was in a relationship, I believe he'd be loyal and I'd be loyal. But like I said, that's...
But you're getting divorced, aren't you?
Yeah, because for a whole separate reason. Me and my ex, we grew apart, was together went from the age of 14. You change a lot in that time. And most women just stay in that relationship because it's comfortable. It's easy. It'd been easier if I stay with my partner. It saves the work. It saves the, to a heartache to a certain extent. It saves the having to split your finances. It's easy and lazy for me if I just stayed in that. And most people in relationships, they stay with that person because it's easy and they're in a comfortable situation. Most people don't go, I want to focus on my happiness and leave that relationship. But I do. I focus on myself. I'm happy to admit I am selfish a lot of the time. And for me, staying in that relationship didn't mean happiness. So I left that. Most women would have stayed in that.
So are men loyal and women not loyal? Do you agree with what Andrew said there?
I was loyal to my partner to a certain degree.
But loyal, when I'm saying loyal, everyone's confusing that with sexually exclusive. See, I'm loyal to my women, but I'm not sexually exclusive to my women.
Yeah.
And a weak man will confuse the two and go, no, loyalty is sexual exclusivity because he's a little bitch.
Loyalty is whatever you agree that it is. That's what it means. Loyalty is just not crossing the boundaries that have been laid in the relationship. And so he has a situation where he tells women that he will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on them, put them in Bentleys and give them Birkins and pay for their entire lifestyle. As long as they're okay with him having sex with other women. Okay, that's his agreement with them. Cool. And so, of course, it's easy to be loyal. I mean, it's going to cost you a fuck ton of money. And, us regular guys are more into a more traditional version of relationship loyalty.
That's nothing to do with loyalty.
I think it depends on your agreement and communication with that person. Some people have swingers. Some people have open relationships. So that, yes, they're having sex with the people, but that's when their agreement. Everything's down to communication. And women aren't open to communicating a lot of the time.
All right, Rob. So which woman do you have more respect for? A woman
Here we go, A or B.
Yeah.
Because that's how the
No, but
world
life
works.
is A and B's. Life is actually A and B's.
Andrew,
no, I'm asking you.
I'll play the game.
Okay,
Let's
perfect. A woman like Bonnie who's very honest and very open and uses her promiscuity to financially gain, or a woman who pretends she loves a man for money who she doesn't really love and intends on divorce raping. Because there's 1,000 times more of them than there are Bonnie Blues. And those are the actual problem. A woman who will falsely accuse a man of rape or falsely accuse a man of hitting her.
Man, he is really, really passionate about this topic, huh?
Divorce court to try and get as much money as possible off a man she barely even loved in the first place and she was only with him for money. Or a woman like Bonnie who's honest. Who do you respect more?
How many guys you know personally that have been hit with this kind of shit?
I respect someone who's more honest about their femininity and sexuality.
So these women who...
The way how Andrew says it, you would think that literally every other nigga you walk into is fighting a rape charge, nigga. No, bro.
Or just with me and telling me they love me because they want my money. And the women who accuse me of rape when they don't get it. And all of my current girlfriends who say, I love you so much, but they run their mouth to me the second they don't like something and they get upset about something and they show they don't actually respect me. They just want a lifestyle. Do you think I respect them more than I respect a woman like Bonnie who's honest?
Do you think maybe you're just attracting that kind of woman because
I'm super successful and super rich? Probably.
But that's what women chase.
But that's what women chase. And that's what the most...
Do all women chase that?
Well, Rob.
A lot. The people that are broke sit and complain the fact they're broke. So just because they don't have it, they want it.
Rob, let's reverse this. You're saying I attract a certain type of woman who loves money, right?
I think we all attract a certain type of person based on who we are.
Okay, well, you nailed it. So based on who you are, depends on what you chase in the world. Wouldn't the most attractive women on the planet want money? Let me ask you, this is a thought experiment. If you're a beautiful woman and you know you're beautiful, you're in the top tier of beauty on the planet. You're the top 0.1% of women on the planet in terms of pure looks. Are you going to use that to make money or are you going to go with a broke? You're going to use that to make money because you have a USP.
Well, society proves it, I think.
Absolutely. So if I want the most beautiful women on the planet, those women want money. So here we are.
So you just get rich to attract beautiful women? Is that what
No, that's not why I got rich. I got rich because I wanted to be powerful. I actually didn't want money. I wanted power. Turns out everyone realizes once they have money that they never wanted money in the first place. They wanted power. You know this. Elon himself knows this. Imagine being Elon, the richest man on the planet. You still got some Jezebel fucking Ashley running her mouth about you and taking you to court. That's the matriarchy we live in. You can be the richest man on the fucking...
I guess all of our moms are fucking ugly chop bitches then, huh? Because none of them married a millionaire. Well, some of you, I don't know. Maybe some of y'all's pops is millionaires, but my dad was broke. And my mother, I believe, is a very beautiful woman. So again, it's like people have to turn their brains off and forget their own life and their own experiences to buy into this garbage. It's like you don't have all of the women in your family must be chopped then. Because unless they're all married to millionaires, apparently. Right? Because pretty girls and beautiful women only marry millionaires.
Fucking planet, some silly woman can still lie about you and drag you to court. Isn't that incredible? Think about that. That would never happen in ancient times. You're a king. You're the richest man on the face of the earth. And some random chick gets to drag you to court and put you in front of a judge. Incredible. Look at me. Trying to take down my empire with these women just lying. This is the world we live in. We live in a matriarchy. No man is safe. The point I'm making is, if you're a man who wants the most attractive women on the planet, and you want true beauty, the women you find will instinctually want money. Because they're beautiful. Beautiful women, that's what they want. They want to get something for their beauty. Because they understand how unique they are. Don't we all? If you understand your unique set of skills, you want a high-paying wage at a job. If you know you're the only person who can do this job, you want to be paid well for it, don't you? This is human nature. My point is this.
So love is transactional.
Of course love's transactional. My point is, for the people complaining about Bonnie Blue, they need to shut the fuck up and complain about all the women out here pretending they love men and dragging them through divorce courts and taking half their fucking stuff.
See, with me,
Bonnie's never taken half of a man's stuff.
No.
You've never taken half of a man's anything. You've taken some OnlyFans subscriptions. She ain't taking half of a man's house.
Well, wait a minute here. How much your top subscribers pay you? I mean,
but that's voluntary. It wasn't taken. It was given.
They've chosen to do. That's like if...
How much? What's the biggest amount of subscriber pay?
We're talking like hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, and when you marry a woman and sign a marriage contract and don't get a prenup, you are giving her rights, equal rights to all of your assets. So no woman takes 50% of shit. You gave that shit away when you married her. You said, what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine. And then if the marriage falls apart, well, shit, nigga, you got to split that shit down the middle.
Hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Yeah. Of course.
An individual man pays.
Yeah.
Just to see your content online.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's given. It's not taken. She didn't drag him in front of a judge.
Not holding him at gunpoint.
What do you think about men spending hundreds of thousands of pounds?
I used to have a webcam studio. That's normal. If she didn't take a man in front of a judge and forcibly take his stuff. I think what Bonnie's doing is
the only reason she got to drag you in front of a judge is because you won't give her half your shit without someone making you do it, even though that's what you agreed to do when you signed the marriage contract.
Far less destructive or heinous than a woman dragging a full-grown man in front of a judge and making him liquidate half of his empire that he worked for his entire life so she can take that money and go fuck another man with it. I think every single divorce currently going through the courts today is more heinous and more aggravating than anything Bonnie's done.
Where if someone got with me, I'd be like, Andrew, I've got tight holes, good blowjob skills, and I'm not going to cry rape the next day.
How could you be tight with that? I don't want to just state the obvious, but how could you be tight with that amount of men?
Well, that'd be your opinion, Rob.
I'm just a question. My opinion doesn't mean anything in this situation.
I can prove it, though. Do you want to prove it? We'll see who's tighter, your wife or me.
That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. That's just a crazy statement to have to fucking respond to.
Next question, huh?
Andrew, what's your biggest failure or regret?
I don't operate from a realm of failure. I don't think I've really failed it very much. I think I've done pretty good in this simulation, considering the primary objectives of life.
Would you not class though going to prison?
I don't consider that a failure, no.
But isn't success a series of small failures or big failures in order to be successful?
Yeah, but I mean, what's the primary objectives of the masculine world? The primary objectives are to have an empire, which you can't say I don't have financially and socially. Was a cultural force. To have progeny, which I have. To be strong and to be well-known and renowned, which I have. You know, I dedicated my 20s to fighting in the ring. No one can
His
say
entire sense of validation comes from what other people think. That's essentially what he's saying. It's like, oh, I'm famous, I'm rich, you know, all these people have seen it. That's what he thinks the goal of life is.
Say I'm not brave. I dedicate my life to combat, and I have a whole bunch of children and a whole bunch of money. It doesn't matter if I go to prison for the rest of my life. I've lived more life than most men ever will.
Yeah.
And I think I've done pretty good in this version of the reality, considering I'm from a Luton council estate.
Any regrets?
Fuck all. I don't operate from the realm of regret. And I don't regret going to jail, and I don't regret anything bad that's ever happened to me, and I never will. If bad things happen to me in the future, I won't regret them either. I just don't operate from that frame. I really do consider myself far more a commentator on life than a liver of life. I am a vessel, but I observe everything from above. And what happens to me, this is just the body, the conduit that God was fortunate enough to give me to observe life through. I'm glad he made it tall and strong and sexy and brown. That's great. But I'm quite externalized about things. And if I go to jail, I'll enjoy the experience of jail. And
Are you hard on yourself?
you have to be. Otherwise, you can't win.
Are you hard right now? I mean, I heard they call you Cobra Tate. Are you packing a python?
Bonnie, Bonnie, you're not an ugly woman. You're attractive. But because I'm jaded through my, long and industrious career, the only thing I find interesting really about women nowadays is kind of similar to something you said earlier.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to take the souls of the virgin men.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like to get a woman's heart more than I like to get her pussy. I kind of like her to be obsessed with me. And that's easier to do when you're one of her first men.
I mean, as soon as she sees you watching your money, you're all right. You've got a heart.
Yeah, but no, that she's obsessed with my bank. I want her to be obsessed with me for real. I try and find women who love me.
Notice he said one of her first men. So he's cool with a girl not being a virgin. Gay, according to him.
Which is very...
Andrew Tate earlier, for those of you who missed it, said that if you sleep with a woman who's had sex with other men, that makes you gay.
For who you are and not your money and transactions.
No, it starts with the money and transactions, and it kind of stays that. But I like to have women who feel like they can't live without me, because if a woman feels like she can live without me, I lose all attraction to her. I don't know why. So it's nothing personal. I'm sure your technique is fantastic, and you're very attractive.
Thanks.
But
Do you think that makes you a narcissist then?
Oh, I think every single person on the planet is a narcissist.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking ridiculous when we sit here and say, oh, he's a narcissist, but I'm not. Of course, that's the dumbest shit. Every single person on the planet.
When you look at the definition of it, everyone is to a certain extent. As long as you want to be successful and you believe in what you believe in and you feel empowered by it,
of course,
suddenly you're a narcissist.
Everybody's a narcissist.
See, look, here's a definition of a narcissist. Someone with a personality style characterized by an excessive preoccupation with themselves, a need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. Yeah, no. Yeah, sure. Everybody likes a good pat on the back. Everybody likes to feel liked. And sometimes we all are selfish to a degree. But there are levels to this shit. And I completely disagree. That has not been my experience of life at all, that most people are narcissists.
Everybody's out for themselves.
But there are narcissists. And Andrew Tate is for sure a narcissist.
Everything is transactional. And the goal of all transactions is to get the better end of the deal. And
that's exactly what you would do when you don't want to deny the fact that you're something. You just say everybody else is that thing as well.
No problem with a girl spending my money if I feel like I'm getting the better end of the deal. Yeah. And if she gives me like children, for example, that's one of the ways she can give me the better end of the deal. If she dedicates her life to me and she's sexually exclusive to me and she doesn't go out clubbing or partying and doesn't do anything without telling me and she gives me her life and her loyalty, I feel like that's worth some money. That's a transaction, but it is a transaction. It's absolutely what it is. I'm not interested in having sex with women just for the sake of sex. This might be controversial, don't find sex
God forbid you're controversial.
I know. I don't find sex that entertaining. I really don't enjoy it that much.
Andrew does not enjoy sex with women. Yeah, this is tracking along with the whole him being gay thing.
Much, to
be honest. You need to switch your girls
Sex is supposed to be entertaining.
No, I really, I'll be halfway through fucking a bitch and I'm just like, what? I got better shit to do. I can go.
I thought you need to impregnate her.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason I'm doing it. Because I really don't find sex that
How long
great.
are you lasting in the bedroom?
Long enough, my dear. I don't really find sex that entertaining. I don't enjoy sex that much. I don't really care, really. I'm not that sexual a person. And I think
sounds like pretty low testosterone activities to me.
That's because I could have it as much as I wanted, maybe. I don't know. I mean, most men are so busy trying to chase it all the time that it's entertaining to them. But because I can fuck basically any girl on the planet, all of a sudden I really just don't really want to. I have
Would
other
you
shit
lick a
to
girl
do.
out, or is that gay in your eyes because you're not doing that to breed her?
I think perhaps if a man licks a girl out, foreplay, I wouldn't say it's completely gay, no. But
Just
I mean, if you just
them.
licked a girl out and then didn't fuck her, I guess that would be kind of weird. And that's how I see sex with a condom or sex with a birth control. I see it as that. If you imagine you just licked a girl out and then stopped, I think it'd be kind of fucking weird. I don't know, but who gives a shit what I think, right? I'm just a guy. But my
You're just a guy with a lot of court
my
cases.
primary objective is to die with children. My primary objective is children. Like perhaps it's because if you have an empty life, if you're a man and you're at home all day and you're got a basic 9-to-5 job and you don't have much going on in your life, perhaps sex is a lot more entertaining to you because you have all these beautiful women you see on Instagram that you can't fuck and you have nothing else you can do. But me, I can fuck any of these girls on Instagram and I don't really want to because I can drive any car in the world and I can go anywhere in the world and I have private jets and I have court cases to fight and I have an empire and I can do podcasts. I can do so many amazing things that sex is just further down the rankings than
like
other stuff I can do each day. If I wake up each day, I don't go, I want to fuck. I wake up and go, you know what? By the time I do this and this and this and this and this and this and this, I've had a great day. Maybe it's just because my life's so fantastic. Yeah. And the fact that all these women these men are chasing I could have makes them less appealing. But most of these men get no pussy. So of course they're obsessed with pussy. Starving men are obsessed with food. And if you have a buffet, you eat a bit and you're kind of bored of it. If you have a buffet in your house, you're just not hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't you're not going to halfway finish a burger, right? The whole idea behind, I'm going to get a pizza right now is that you're hungry and you want to eat, right? So what is this whole not being into it halfway through you're fucking the girl? If you chose to engage in sex and you're this guy who only does what he wants when he wants to, you would think that he wanted to have sex, which is why he started having sex. And you get halfway through it and you're not into it anymore, bro, you might got a problem, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
The average guy in my queue is just someone that goes to work. They've got a wife, maybe a couple of kids, and like sex is the most interesting thing they've got in their life. So I completely
Of course,
agree.
they have nothing else interesting to do, but I have other very interesting things to do. But yeah, so I'm not an overly sexual person, I would argue. And I'm glad I'm not, because if I was overly sexual like Diddy, I'd be fucking toast by now. Imagine that 4 different federal agencies for 5 years.
If you were as rich as Diddy, as long as Diddy's been as rich as he is, you would be in a worse situation than Diddy, I would believe.
Investigated me and they managed to find fuck all. They couldn't find anything. They couldn't find any fucking orgies. They couldn't find anything. They're like, okay, we found a couple girlfriends and he had sex with them. And then they had sex with him like 100 times. And they're saying one of the times he didn't buy him a handbag. So it's rape. Like even their cases are shit. They can't even build a case on me. Thank fuck I'm not overly sexual. Because if I was, I'd be in jail. Which again.
Master gaslighter. Just go read the court documents. Like, this nigga's lying.
Let's analyze this. This is truly hypocritical and insane that we live in a society which is overly sexualized. But then if you're a man who is overly sexualized, the second you do something they don't like, they use your over-sexuality against you. Look at Russell Brand. He was the poster boy of degeneracy. He was drug taking, running around all over TV, flirting with every single girl he met on television. Channel 4 were dragging girls up from the crowd to go flirt with him. He was seen as a playboy. It was funny. It was promoted. And now that he talks anti-vaccine, they're using it against him to try and put the guy in jail. So we're living in a society which is over-sexualizing everyone and then randomly picking and choosing the people they don't like who talk about something unrelated to sex.
It's not random.
Politics.
Is it really random?
Well, it's not random.
No.
They're choosing the people who talk about things unrelated to sex, usually politics, and using the sexuality against them. So they're making everybody guilty of a crime at the base level. Everybody is born guilty, the original sin, and then randomly jailing the people, not randomly, choosing and jailing the people who do other things they don't like. So it's completely unfair to Russell to promote a young man to take drugs and be sexual and then use it against him later. And it's completely unfair to convince women to go out and be sexual and make a bunch of money from it like Bonnie has and use it against her. What I'm saying is that society has put us here. We are exactly where we deserve to be. Bring the asteroid. The fuck? This is where we are now. This is where we are. And the only reason I'm not overly sexual, truthfully, is because I see it for what it is and I don't really want to partake too much. And it's literally...
This nigga lied so hard. Listen to that gulp. Pause. This nigga's throat dried the fuck up when he said that shit. He went... Listen.
This is where we are. And the only reason I'm not sexual...
This nigga gulped so hard the mic picked it up.
Actually overly sexual, truthfully, is because I see it for what it is and I don't really want to partake too much. And it's literally saved my life. Or I'd be in fucking jail right now. And what would I have done?
This nigga's on camera beating the dog shit out of a chick, talking about that's how you like to have sex. Okay.
Wrong. Nothing. Is there anything wrong with fucking 4 or 5 women? No. If they all want to, what's wrong with it? Nothing.
Yeah, I think as long as everything...
I'm being honest. Is baby oil illegal? I mean, we talk about it all the time.
Was hard to buy for a while in the shops, though.
No, well, we talk about it all the time like it's evidence of crime. I'm not defending Diddy. I don't even fucking like him. I'm saying, he had baby oil. Okay, where's the crime? He fucked all these women. Where's the crime? Oh, he had another man fuck his girl. Where's the crime?
I think
where's the crime?
Consensual.
There's no crime. But
he's not in jail. Diddy's not in jail for any of those things, though. None of those things are on the court documents as to why he's being tried in court. It has nothing to do with the fact that he had an egregious amount of baby oil, or that he let other niggas fuck his girl, or that he partook in orgies. He's in jail for the fucked up shit he did.
People are so stupid. He had
the alleged fucked up shit he did, the alleged crimes he committed.
Bunch of sex, jail. That's not how it works. We're telling people to have a bunch of sex. We're encouraging people to have a bunch of sex. We're telling women to have a bunch of sex. We're telling men to fuck whoever they want and not have kids. This is what we're telling people to do. And then we're saying it's against the law when the person does something they don't like. It's a false dichotomy we live in. It saved my life that I didn't do it. Thank fuck. No blowjob that good. Jesus Christ. I'm glad I'm boring.
Until me.
Bonnie, I know you would never cry rape, but somehow I'd end up with a human trafficking charge for touching you. I don't know. They'd say, I forced you to do it. Nah, no.
People always say I belong in prison. Like when I see like TikToks, like, how is she not in jail? She's a predator. She's a groomer. And I'm like, everyone I fuck is 18. Everyone I fuck, they're consenting to it. And I'm like, how the fuck am I meant to get arrested for that? And if you're saying that's promoting rape culture, then how confusing is that for the younger generation? Because if they're thinking consensual sex is rape, how many more times are they going to cry rape when that was also consensual? Because if you're saying I'm a rapist and I prove all the time everything's consensual and above board, then how confusing is that for the younger people?
Well, you're not a rapist, 1. And 2, consensual sex now currently under the law is rape because a woman can remove consent post-action because she's unhappy with how the relationship turned out. So all consensual sex ends up being rape once the woman's upset.
Okay, I've got some really good advice for you. Next time you fuck a girl, make sure the Birkin is ready. No court cases.
Then there's going to be another Birkin and another Birkin. But no, you're right. This is the world we live in now. And it's very difficult and hard to be a man now. And that's why most men are actually just checking out and giving up on women by and large.
Maybe
you see a lot of men? Do you think it's hard being a man?
Yeah, for sure. They get so much stick and women are so protected now. And I'm not saying that's for everything. Like there is loads of women crime. There is loads of women being murdered. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But men's mental health is fucked. Women do nothing to it to help it. And then women are the ones that talk about everyone should be happy and positive. It's women that sit there on their couches with their 2 kids in a council house making TikToks and videos. Instead of thinking, right, I'm going to better myself. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go and get a job so I can help be independent. They don't care. They just do fuck all of their life. And men have to work so hard.
So that's all women and all men? She's just pandering.
So yeah, I want to pleasure him. Yeah.
She's a woman. So just automatically that can't be a women thing. Some women maybe, but not all. And when you take a look at the numbers, it's always a minority. The people that fucking people always like use as their grifting fodder, the people they're complaining about, they're always a minority, bro. Like they're not most of the people. Whether it's the people who like to cry about the Jews, whether it's people like to cry about black people, whatever. Even when people cry about white people being racist, is it most white people on that white supremacy shit? No. And so that's the reality of the situation, man.
Yes, I want to make them feel happy. Couldn't give a shit if their wife's having to go to bed crying because I've just fucked their husband.
But what's sad is that people realize that for their group, but then completely become blind of that when another group is the same shit is happening to another group.
What's your biggest failure or regret, Bonnie? And don't give me none of this. No failure, no regret.
No. Like, I guess just I mean, I didn't fall into the system for too long. I only worked in a corporate job for 5 years. If I'd have stayed in that for 20 years, I'd be saying, fuck me, that was the mistake. I copied everyone else. But I guess it's just trusting people too soon, not understanding, I guess, just being naive that people a lot of the time have other intentions, which you don't see at times.
And what one piece of advice would you give Andrew Tate?
Get the Birkins. Drop the rape charges.
I think he does get the Birkins anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, my problem is very similar to yours, Bonnie, is that I'm too well known. And once you get too well known, problems arise. There is a limit
Can you ever go back?
Well, what do you mean ever go back? Do you mean disappear from the internet?
Well, I mean, stop becoming more famous, stop courting it.
I think I kind of already have. I'm already doing a lot less than I previously did. There'll be a day I disappear from the internet, but the story of Icarus is true. And I think Bonnie actually...
So when you say there'll be a day you disappear off the internet because you'll get assassinated.
I think the story of Icarus is true. And you know what? I'm saying this genuinely from the bottom of my heart. I like to believe I'm a pretty good judge of people. And I believe Bonnie is a good person. I believe she's very honest. I believe you're a good person. Mm-hmm. And I think you should keep in mind, no matter what you do, the story of Icarus, that if you get too close to the sun, something bad is going to happen. And as a woman, I can't even truly exactly
18-year-olds provide good SPF, so I'm all right.
Well, yeah. As a woman, I can't exactly identify how it would happen.
Yeah.
As a man, it's easier to work out how it's going to happen. But you've already had a taste of it now. Mm-hmm. And a lot of life is finding the happy medium and the happy balance where you're buoyant and you're making money and you're well known, but you're not too well known and not making too much
All
money.
right, I think the best portions of this interview is over. They're talking about how hard it is to be a man and then being canceled, the new normal, blah, 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 blah. All the good shit's fucking gone now. And I think we've had enough listening to the king of the red pill, black pill boys talk with the queen of fucking online prostitution. I think we've all had enough. So, yeah.